Tonight on 8.5-bit, we take to the streets, take to the garden, and take to the jazz club. Welcome, friends of all designs, to episode 266 of 8.5-bit. I'm your host, Paul, and joining me tonight are my good friends, James.
Hello.
And Sam.
Hi.
How are you going, boys?
Good.
Yeah,
I was trying to figure out how to say our intro in Spanish.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's Hola mis amigos, todo del tipos. I think it's hello, my friends of all types. I think I probably butchered it, but I think I got close.
I remember down PAX you sent people directions, but you sent them to everyone in Spanish.
Yeah, because my phone's in Spanish.
Every time I open a link from
Ah.
it's in Spanish.
And you were like, Paul, take a photo of me with my phone.
And it was like,
what's the photo button?
no entiendo.
Do. I don't...
Yep. Paul,
I don't get a mic tonight. My mic's dead. Boo.
welcome to the Sam James Show.
Hey, everyone.
Nobody move.
All right, no touchy.
Okay, I might... There might be a pause when I go and raid my audio cable cover.
We'll see how we go.
We'll see how we go. Okay.
Or Paul will just take our mics, both of them, so he can...
All of them.
Yeah.
Well,
Two mics at once.
The truth is, especially on Sam's mic, which is turned up a little bit more because he's a softer speaker,
Yes.
often my level is as clear as Sam's mic as my mic. So,
We
Well,
should
good
be
then.
fine.
look at that later. But it doesn't have the right timbre. You lose the
yeah.
tone being
Yeah.
off mic.
I
that much.
like it when on your computer your microphone bugs out and you become the baritone man.
That is a weird thing. I don't know what causes that. But it's fun. Okay, and actually with that, I'm just going to get you to turn your mic a little bit more close to your face, James.
Like here?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Hooray!
Okay, so the games mentioned in the intro, we're going to talk about all games from Paul, because why not? It's Paul's show.
Look,
Sounds
they're
great.
the important games.
It's Paul's show. Concrete Genie
Mhm.
on PS4, Manifold Garden
on arcade.
I'm playing it on
and-
Apple Arcade and on
yeah.
PC, and also Kine, which I've been playing on Switch. I believe is also on PC, and I think maybe that's all at the moment.
So you haven't been playing Destiny 2 Shadowkeep at all?
No,
No,
Not
that's a
at
shame.
all.
You're the only one, James.
James, I haven't been able to log into my Blizzard account.
Doesn't matter. It's all
What?
Steam now.
What? When did this happen?
Yeah, Destiny
So-
disappeared off of my
Yeah.
Battle.net. So
Yeah,
I can't play
They
it.
got out just in time, just like as Activision Blizzard caught
was
on
pretty good
fire.
timing, right?
Yeah, they're out. They're clear.
You know, I'm really tired today and a bit worn out from life, and I can't start the show with Destiny.
It's a bit much, a bit heavy.
That's a later of the episode kind of topic. We need to talk about exciting things. So we have been in PAX Australia 2 weeks ago now. And we returned from that. I felt quite rejuvenated in the industry. And I think we were all saying before the show, we actually didn't play as many games as we normally would.
No, looked at a lot
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Looked at a lot, spoke to a lot of people. But I'm like, I've played video games. I can
Yeah.
see
I
what
kind
that
of know
is.
what
Yeah.
this is.
Yeah. I don't need to wait and find out if it's good or not. I can see.
Yeah, I can
Use my
judge
eyes.
from here.
Yeah. And also, I'm sick of talking to you. I don't want to prolong it anymore. Fairly well. Yes, so that's happened. But also, we've had all other things from then. Shall we, just for fun, kick off with the news?
Go for it.
Go.
Plenty
of it.
There's lots of stuff. Okay, so I'll just go in order because why not? I've got nothing. Oh, god damn it.
Oh, lost it again.
Okay, if I hold the damaged cable directly at this angle, we'll be okay.
Do you need me to hold it, Paul?
Do I ever, buddy?
This
Okay.
doesn't normally happen,
It's
right?
No.
Yeah,
I'm Sam for a minute.
we'll share, Sam.
No. We'll fix it up after.
Yeah.
No, this is.
I don't have much to say. It's fine.
Oh, this is
I've
a
got
good
2
game.
games and
No. Yeah, we give you your mic back.
I can speak again.
Hello.
my honey. Hello,
This is what it sounds like before the
Hello.
show. If anyone wants to know what we do, it's basically this.
I'm go.
And Paul does sing. The
Secret behind the scenes.
Yeah, sometimes there'll be
Intro.
there'll be some kind of impromptu song.
Okay, let's see if we can make it to the news, and if we do, I'll go change cables, or we'll just do this for the whole show because it's fun.
Yeah, why
All
not?
right, I'll try to just not touch the
I
table.
don't think it's you. I think it's just this really, really damaged cable. Okay. PS5 news.
Yes.
We've got news on the PS5. For instance, it's called the PS5. Who
Yeah.
would have guessed
Yeah.
it?
It's a big
Good-
surprise there.
Good old reliable
I was
Sony.
shocked.
Nick, they haven't. Yep.
It's going to come out in the period that we all expected it to come out.
We're
Another
getting,
piece of shocking news.
we're getting new controllers. It's going to have better battery life.
And it
Yes.
does have a new feature.
It's got
Yeah,
the triggers, right?
haptic
Like
feedback.
the haptic,
Haptic
triggers.
feedback in
yeah.
the triggers.
Well, there were two things mentioned with that though, because it was haptic feedback was like
But-
covering everything.
There's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
resistance,
it's resistance.
yeah.
Adjustable resistance.
You know what we
triggers.
might get? We might get like a programmable click, like we used to have on the GameCube.
We won't.
Maybe,
Um,
but Paul, we might.
No. See, what's going to happen is that the PS5 will launch with Horizon Zero Dawn 2, and it will use this resistant thing for pulling the bow back and going like, oh, yeah, I can
it
feel
feels
it
so
go
good.
far.
like you're actually
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And
And
then
then never used again.
And then I'll turn it off. Yeah, like the tilt.
And the
Like, remember
touchpad.
the tilt, yeah, or the touchpad. Good old
tilt?
touchpad. Oh, like the
Six axis-
gyros
the six
in
axis.
the 6-axis.
Yeah.
The gyros in
that was
6
used like
axis.
twice.
I mean, literally, one of the main games this week is mainly played with the gyro.
Well,
so
that's no, the games that Paul plays.
I'm like, what are you talking about not using it? It's used all the time.
For the games that
And
Paul
my happy
plays.
big map button.
Yeah, it is just that. Yeah, like I like that. You know, there is like some attempts to have some kind of like pointer input, but no one. I think like when we first saw it, it's like, oh, we're gonna get like RTSs on there. It's
Yeah.
gonna be like no.
I think the weirdest thing is the Steam controller showed it could work.
Oh, with like a decent
Like
haptic.
the
yeah.
The
I think
touchpad
it's just kind of
stuff.
out of the way a bit.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
No, it's...
But yeah, we're getting
But the
PS5.
the touch part of it, yeah, it's not...
I mean,
super-
I guess one of the big things with the PS5 is the read speed on the drive. That's one of the.
Well,
big
that's
things
it.
that-
Just
Better
everyone's
loading
pushing.
time.
Everyone's
Yeah.
pushing SSDs, which are
Yeah.
apparently all custom, so that they go faster.
Mm.
But of course, the problem is, such for instance, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare is just called, coming out this week is like 180 gig,
Yeah.
Yep.
and most. I'd be surprised if either the console's base units and even maybe the big units at launch are any more than a terabyte.
Yeah, I'd guess 512, but maybe a terabyte.
Yeah,
512 is more likely, I think.
Mm.
which means in that case,
Yeah.
a couple
Two
of games
games. Yeah.
installed.
But that's what every gamer plays, Paul. Just two games.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Actually, it's
we were sort of
kind
talking about this at work, and it is like
Yeah.
most people play
Yeah.
buy 1.6
So it'll be
games
fine.
a year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for the average, that could kind of work, but not really.
Yeah. But the games that you mostly play are pretty tiny.
Oh yeah, that's not.
Yeah.
I'm always fine.
Yeah.
But that said, I mean, my PS4's got a 2 terabyte drive in it.
Mm. Because
Because-
it's also that like it won't be able to read off the disc fast enough. So even if you buy the
Everything has
disc,
to
it'll
install.
have to be installed.
So we'll see. I'm expecting that you're going to be able to put in external drive support, but it will just copy what you're playing. To
What
the
need?
local
Yeah,
drive.
yeah. And maybe they'll do something clever with discs. Maybe it'll actually be a good reason to have a disc version, is that it'll only install what it needs. So it'll be part of the load. It'll cache it on the drive, and then just clear it when it doesn't need
if
it.
they do it intelligently. I
Yeah.
mean, so many games is like the disc is nothing but a glorified code to download
Yeah.
the latest version of
Yeah.
it. So we shall see. But yes, it's coming out next year. Called PS5. Shock, shock.
Mm.
The controller that's ostensibly exactly the same it's been the last 3 times.
Yeah.
Some
It
slight
works.
change.
They don't.
Yeah. Hey, it's a good controller.
Some leaked stuff about the VR stuff. Apparently, inside-out tracking is expected in
Cool.
the headset, and potentially wireless.
That
Should be
wireless is a big thing.
Yeah.
If they can do that.
I tell you though, I am waiting for the beta of the Oculus Quest with its whole running over USB-C.
Yes.
On
so
the
you run
PC,
it as Rift
and
stuff.
it might just
Might
sell me
tip
on
you
getting
over.
that. Yep.
Yeah.
Because that would be the whole Quest is a fantastic proposition to me.
It's a beautiful device.
Me just take it to someone's house, just like set up. Here we go. Let's play a thing. Let's go downstairs. Do it. Great. We don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about being in my small office and maybe punching 100 amiibo.
They deserve it.
Yeah, it's like, but also, I mean, it's limited by its power.
Yeah.
And if it's not limited by that, in that case, you're limited by where you are. But either way.
You can buy some pretty long cables these days.
Yeah, but I mean that also could potentially add some,
Yeah.
depending on how long it is. I'm sure there's a technical limit, or maybe not.
Maybe, who knows?
Who knows? I mean, there will be a technical
You
limit.
get a meter pole.
1 meter of cable. Just keep your head down next to that. Can't I use the front ports? No, it must be the rear ports. My head. in that line, what part of the reason why I'm also now interested in VR is I did bite the bullet, and I have upgraded from my
you did
970.
have a new video card. What do you have now?
I bought a Borderlands 3. Yeah. The most expensive version of Borderlands 3 you can buy.
Yeah.
So I bought a Radeon 5700 XT.
Nice.
Which is pretty much like...
What's the equivalent in NVIDIA speak?
The current one is... It's around similar to the 2060 Super? 2070 Super?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And obviously it doesn't have ray tracing. But the thing is, before I did it, like, because it's also a couple of $100 cheaper.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so performance is pretty on par. Some are higher, some are lower. Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
Similar
They're all pretty
ballparks.
good these days.
I'm not
yeah.
crying either way.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, but ray tracing. Well, if I put ray tracing on, I'm going to halve my frames. You know what? I'm used to playing with terrible frames. Maybe I can live with that. You're like, well, control's supposed to be super impressive. Let's start looking at all the comparison videos. I don't give a fuck.
There's not a lot of difference right now.
It's supposed to be like the best. And like, I can see it. Don't get me wrong. It's not like you're like, oh, can't see a difference. It's like, oh yeah, there's reflections here where there aren't there. There's that there. But take it away from me for 2 seconds and I do not care anymore.
The nicest ray tracing I saw was someone did a really nice mod for Minecraft.
Yes.
And
some of the ray tracing shaders in Minecraft are goddamn beautiful.
But yeah,
but
something
those things aren't even like NVIDIA hardware dependent, are they?
Probably not.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, like as far as like NVIDIA ray tracing goes, I remember like we were looking at PAX Before Last, looking at Metro.
Yeah.
And I honestly couldn't tell it was turned on. I guess it looks nice.
But the game looks nice.
It's a nice looking game.
It's on a nice screen.
Yeah.
Is it the screen that looks good?
Yeah.
I can't tell.
I thought it was hilarious because there's Quake 2 RTX version. Yeah. Like all the reviews are amazing because they're just like these like throwing shade with these comments about like I've got my $600 video card that I can play a game from 15 years ago at 30 frames a second
for half an hour.
Yeah.
You don't care anymore. Was it NVIDIA has actually opened up a new department now because they sort of did that in house just for doing those sort of ports. And it's like, is that really the best we've got?
Yeah.
Like,
is it a good use of resources?
I hope they. Oh man, and what if they updated Armageddon for ray tracing? That would be pretty rad.
Yeah.
That would be
actually no. That could legitimately look really good
and still run amazing because it runs on a calculator.
Yeah. Maybe like Mirror's Edge.
Yeah,
that could end up looking really nice.
And actually,
Portal 2.
Portal would look pretty good.
Yeah, I can see that looking pretty
nice. I was
nice.
still on Mirror's Edge. It's like Frostbite. Like, when Frostbite does have ray tracing support now, but then how would you backport there? I was like, fuck, this is probably such a huge amount of work that it would be... Because everyone would want the first one as well. They wouldn't want the second one. Okay, so yeah, I think that was everything PS5. We have a new feature in Steam, which is we have our sort of Steam Link stuff where you can stream a game. Now you can stream a game to a friend, which they call remote play together, so that you can play a local multiplayer game with people online.
Oh, I didn't know they added that.
They're catching up to emulators from 15, 20 years ago.
Steam is finally doing what I did with Hamachi 15 years ago.
Although, no, Hanachi wouldn't have done that. That would have just given you a local network. How did you stream the video over Hanachi?
Streaming the video, but it allowed you to play local multiplayer games.
But that like LAN local, not
couch co-op.
Not
good
couch
point. Good point.
Yeah.
It's basically
But emulators have been doing it for a while.
The premise is there.
It's slowly turning into its own little Stadia.
Well, yeah, we'll see what Stadia. We'll jump to the Stadia news then.
Well, because when I was in down in Melbourne, I was playing Destiny 2 streaming from my PC at home.
How was it?
It was all right. At first, I felt a little bit sick because of the input latency. But once you kind of got used to it and brain kind of adapted...
You just had to set your brain back before MMOs had Australian servers.
No, well, it's because the input latency that's the problem. So it's more like if you move the mouse, you have to compensate for the fact that it's going to look like you're going slower than you actually are.
Yeah.
Kind of...
Sounds like Vomtown to Paul.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
But I'm overly sensitive to such things, so...
But I mean, it's one of the... I can't see Stadia being any better. Like...
Yeah.
like the physics kind of gets in the way.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, that's all, like, in theory, the best Stadia stuff doesn't involve you going through two, private connections just through the one.
Yeah.
Although, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, I guess what Stadia's got for it is it's sending the input directly back.
Yeah.
And maybe there's something there they can kind of optimize somehow.
We shall see. But anyway, if you ordered the Stadia Pro Founders Edition, you might not get it.
Nice.
And they seem to be kind of low-key on that. But the more surprising one is if you have ordered it and you're getting that fancy controller, that fancy wireless controller that doesn't need to be connected to anything to work. Well, it doesn't work unless it's connected to anything except for the Chromecast. So if you want to play with the controller on your PC or on the Pixel phone, it comes with a Chromecast.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It has to be plugged in via USB. Which means if you got like a Pixel, you got to have a USB-C to USB-C.
The whole point of that controller
Which comes with the Pixel.
was like...
Does it? Does it come with a Pixel?
The
Good.
Pixel's charging is C to C.
Okay, that's at least means you've got one.
So,
So-
but it's still pretty stupid that it isn't just wireless.
So basically, the one really cool feature of that controller...
Doesn't work yet.
Doesn't work yet.
Yeah.
They're still planned, right? I
Yes.
assume, because it's really cool, that the whole it talking to the network thing.
It doesn't work yet.
Well, that's disappointing.
But they're launching in 2 weeks.
This could be interesting.
I know. By the time it gets to Australia...
Not in our country.
It'll be all ironed out.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Still won't work as our internet.
I mean, I just reckon it's like it comes out. We try Destiny on it. If anyone's subscribed to Uplay Plus, try Uplay Plus with it.
Yeah.
And then move on and wait if it's not working. And if it is working, go whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's why I'm always. I mean, we should not be surprised by internet hate on things, but so much vitriol. It's just like it's a failure. It's never going to work. It's like, why not just see how it works first? And if it doesn't, don't buy it.
Yeah.
Seems
Because I
very
think
easy.
it's going to work really well for some games.
Yeah, it'll for certain genres it'll be better than others. We may be surprised and stuff. Obviously, people's mileage is going to vary via the very technology existing. But I mean, you got to start somewhere.
I think that's the thing. Like at the very least, even if it's completely terrible and crap, nothing really changes.
Yeah.
We're
not
It's not like
losing
we're
anything.
going back a step.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything that's 100% exclusive to Stadia.
Even if
either.
they lose money on it, still Google.
Yeah, still don't. I don't
It's
care.
not gonna
if
bother
Google
them.
loses money. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. So we also had an announcement of Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC, which I have no interest in, except I just bought a new video card.
Full
and I go like,
4K.
Ooh.
You can test it.
Yeah, but I remember how much I hate that game.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, what if someone mods it to be a good game?
See, I've never,
That is the thing about getting it on PC. Yeah.
I've never played it. The only thing I keep hearing about it is how bad the control scheme is.
Yes.
Yeah,
I hate the
that's what
controls.
really surprised me for a game that was in development for so long. It's almost like they were just ignoring other people, like other games and other paradigms, and they went, "I'm just going to do my own thing."
It sounds like they just added something to the next available button combination every time they put it in the game. That's what it sounds like to me.
It reminds me of when you were describing like Metal Gear Solid 2. Just how those controls just like lay up on each other. Eventually. Like, no.
Too
When
many
you got to
buttons.
the end of that game, you should have looked at what had happened and
Yeah.
gone, okay, let's
Yeah.
back up.
Yeah.
What mistakes did we make on the way?
Yeah, because I think I counted once, and it was like to push up against a wall, to draw your gun, and then not fire it. I think it was like 5 button presses. Because you had, it was ridiculous. It was like a claw to play that thing.
Yeah. You didn't quite have to claw with Red Dead. It just was not intuitive controls. And it was always one of those things. Super easy to headshot somebody. Really difficult to fucking hit your horse. It's like, this seems... Maybe a middle ground on both would be good. Okay. So, I'm going to skip that because that's a bit too... Saints Row 2 news.
Wait, really?
Exciting.
Oh, finally.
Yes. They found the source code.
Oh, okay.
It was... they didn't say where it was, but let's just say in someone's shoebox in a cupboard
Yeah.
at the
I
bottom
always
of
find
a
it
disused
funny
lavatory.
Someone's
when
found
people
some
lose
stuff.
source. It always amuses me.
It was
Like,
it was in the display department. Yes, found it. It's in the cellar. The lights are probably gone. So are the stairs. You found the notice, didn't you? Anyway, stop quoting things, Paul. Yeah, so they found it. So they're updating the PC version.
Cool.
So it's going to, because it uses GameSpy as the multiplayer,
Oh,
so
yeah.
they're going to
They're
take
going to
that out.
add RTX support?
No, but they are adding the DLC that was never in it originally.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also that will then allow them to then port this to modern consoles as well.
So it's coming to Switch, is basically what you're saying.
Possibly.
Could do.
Yeah. But they said like it's a 2-man team that's dedicated to Saints Row 2. It's like, okay. That seems like
Seems
enough.
fine. Yeah.
Yep. Stadia we've done. Oh, very exciting in Fortnite news.
Oh,
That was impressive.
that was...
what happened.
God, I wish I loved Fortnite.
Yeah. If only
It
anyone
was
played
so
it.
It was so cool.
So Fortnite destroyed the world. So for about 36 hours, I think it was, if you logged onto the server, you didn't get to play. You got to see the island sucked into a black hole, followed by yourself. And so I'm sure there were a bunch of salty kids that were like, I just want to play
someone about to
Yeah.
win.
Because I loaded it up while the event was going, and it was really
And
some
it even
really
happened
cool
in a
effects.
menu, right, too?
Yeah, like all you could
if
because
you're in the menu,
like you
get the same
load it up,
thing.
it would glitch out, and then just everything would be sucked up. It was really cool.
So it's cool. So they basically used that to mask a bunch of server changes as well, and the introduction of their season 2, which is an entirely new island and a whole bunch of new
They had
shit.
fishing.
I don't know what you do with fishing in the battle royale.
I think it gives you
Stuff,
loot,
probably.
and so it's like, I guess it's a thing which stops you. It makes you a target, and you can try and get loot.
Yeah, it still seems weird. There's pogo sticks. There's all. It's wild. I'm told it's grindy, but I don't care. I don't play it. It's wild what they can do.
The thing I like about it is it's probably one of the best examples from a game design point of view of like, let's just take everything we've learned in the past 2 years of making this game and putting updates out every week and start again.
Yeah.
And do it right the first time.
Yeah, it was really cool what they did.
Yeah, and the whole in-game stuff. It's
awesome.
like. It's like the better version of what some of the MMOs sometimes do. It's like they've taken all those lessons as well. Like, here's a big world event, and you can sort of be
because
there and
normally
experience it.
MMOs will have like a lead up, to like
Yeah.
but then it's more like, oh, okay, content finished, turn off server. I think Final Fantasy 14 had an actual like big like meteor come down. Like they did like a big thing when they were doing the reboot. But yeah, it's cool, man. I'm actually kind of hoping that other people start doing this. I think it's a fun way to push out patches.
Sony has said crossplay is available for everybody, not just the people that made a big enough fuss. So expect that more in the future. Doom Eternal has been delayed until next year, so it's not coming out in a couple of weeks like we originally hoped.
Oh no! What
It's
else
coming out.
will we play?
What other games are possibly around?
Nothing else is coming out.
It's March 20, so it is being thrown right into
March.
that area of fucking everything coming out. Final Fantasy
so I get
7.
7 days to play Final Fantasy 7, and then I get 20 days to play Cyberpunk, and then Doom's out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the weirdest
That's all right.
thing is they said that the whole invasion mode thing, that multiplayer where other people can come into your single player, that won't be available at launch. But it seems like the time that I'd interface with that the most is
at
when I
launch.
played the game at launch.
It's not a live service
When
game.
everyone's playing it.
It's a game that I'll play once and won't play again.
So here's my suggestion. Delay the game a little bit longer. It's a really busy time of the year anyway.
Yeah.
Let's just come back a little in June. It's a June game. There, done.
I will probably personally wait for that feature to be out before I get it. Because I think...
Okay. I got this news wrong. Oh, I'll read it, and then I can tell you why I'm wrong. So, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 Swan Song was delayed until later 2020. See, I got 2 bits of news because there's a different Vampire the Masquerade game, which is like an adventure game, which is called Swan Song, but I saw like it's been officially titled Swan Song, so I thought that was Bloodlines 2.
Oh,
it's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also, I think no one is surprised by this game being delayed. I would be shocked if it comes out in 2020 at all, because it's Vampire the Masquerade. And I don't think they're under that much financial pressure at the moment, and it will be big and unwieldy.
I'm happy for them to take their time.
Take the
with that
time.
one.
I don't know. There's plenty of shit coming out. There's too many games to play as most of the time.
That's true.
Riot had a big event.
Yeah.
Makers of
Their
League of
big
Legends.
10-year anniversary
Yeah,
thing.
so how many genres they got now?
They have announced they are making a fighting game, Project L. They are making a first-person tactical game, Project A.
Yeah.
They are making a game called Esports Manager, where you get to manage a fantasy League of Legends team. They have a card game, Legends of Runeterra, which is called their Hearthstone. They have Project F, which we don't really know, but it looks like Diablo-like, but some people think it might be an MMO. I don't know. They didn't say anything about it. I also write down here Pinball Visual Novel and Tetris, but those are jokes.
Damn it.
So is Riot the new Blizzard?
Perhaps.
Well, they basically, other than the fact that they've also
Branching
added a
out a lot.
fighting game to it, everything else... Oh, I suppose the Esports Manager is unique as well. All the other stuff is just sort of like...
Blizzard
what
does like to
doing.
play at being esports managers, though.
Well, also...
It's not a thing we can take part in, but...
Also, with all the kerfuffle about Blizzard and Hong Kong protests and Chinese ownership... I mean, China might very much like to just disown Blizzard entirely, break those things,
Well,
and
then
just
they'll
have a
have Riot.
Well, they fully own
exactly.
Riot, yeah. So it's like no conflict of interest there. That's just the interest. Their rules can just say, no supporting Hong Kong. We didn't really mention the Blizzard stuff, so yes, there was a Hearthstone player said something. What was the actual words?
Yeah, like something like "revolution of our time," something like
it's
that.
the phrase. It's the phrase that the Hong Kong
Yeah.
protesters
It's pretty
are
old
using. I
news
can't remember
now.
what it is.
So he got kicked out and banned, and his
Banned for a year,
prize
lost
money
the
removed.
prize money away.
There's back and forth. He eventually got the money back. But he was banned for 6 months. Other people have then started protesting in solidarity. They've been banned also.
The US government got involved.
US government got involved. Like it was on like every fucking news channel around the world talking about
They
it.
cancelled the Overwatch Switch.
Yes, the launch, not the game.
Not the game. The
Although
launch.
from what I hear, maybe they should have cancelled the game too. It doesn't seem awful, but not great. And then also now we've got BlizzCon about to hit.
It's going to be really
Which is going to be
interesting.
which we've had basically leaks of Diablo 4. This is going to show, and Overwatch 2.
And a Diablo 2 remaster.
Is that I heard those words, but I didn't see it was actually like a leaked thing.
I'm looking forward to
bundled
the
in with
Q&As.
Yeah.
Well,
we had a good one last year, so it'll be good to see what we
now
get
this
year.
year's going to be good.
Q&A's no one's going to be talking. It'll be pre-submitted questions.
Yeah,
just
I
cancel.
probably
They
will be this
say
year.
they say James from Brisbane, Australia says, "My mobile phone is not that new. Will I be able to enjoy Diablo Mobile 2 in all of its glory?" And yes, no, James. Latest shows only exclusive to Huawei.
And only if you have a big enough social standing.
Yes,
Oh.
exactly. That said, you should look back into the actual social credit stuff that we always talk about and everything. Mostly we're wrong about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of
I know.
like we've misconstrued what the Chinese government's doing with that. Now, that's not me coming out as pro-Chinese government. Do not get me
People
wrong.
do like to extrapolate.
We
Yeah,
did have some Chinese investment in the podcast, however.
Oh, yes. I can't think of a Chinese brand. Look, I love Monkey. Monkey King's great. Yeah. Anyway, that Monkey King game we played at PAX is out now.
Oh, it's out?
Yep. I want to play it.
I don't think many people are going to play it.
No, it was half-assed. But it had some good points.
Had some nice animation.
So that was Blizzard stuff. There's more to it, but I don't really care enough to get into it. I think it's been covered. If you care, you've seen
It's
it.
happened.
It
It occurred.
But
a bit forgotten.
It will be interesting to see what the Blizzard fan base does, because there's all the reactionary stuff. I'm cancelling my account, getting rid of the stuff and everything.
Yeah, there was a lot
once
of
they
that.
once they see Diablo 4, do their politics go out the window?
I expect so.
I tend to be very cynical, so I expect so.
Yeah.
But who knows?
I mean, I'm excited for Diablo 4.
I'm excited to see what Overwatch 2 is, because for them to do a 2 this shortly,
I believe or at least some of the leaks or rumors around it is that it is going to be a single player driven game.
yes, that's what I heard.
So
also,
it's expanding the world. As
that
it were,
is-
but it's
that
such
is
an
a very
odd
interesting, confused idea to me.
direction to take.
It's like, okay, are you forced to play through parts of each individual character? Do you select characters?
Is it
like-
just different?
Is it basically just turned into maps with bots effectively, or do we?
But yeah, it's
It's
because they've got the single player. Well, not single player, but they've got like the versus bots events. That happen, like the archives events, and this is like, is it just going to be a really big long version?
Yeah, it's
of
just
going
going
to
to be that sort of thing.
It's going to be like, what was Gearbox's failed shooter? Battleborn.
Battleborn.
Yeah, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be
full
that.
circle.
Yeah.
It could. I mean,
It could just be an RTS. You know,
Yeah, that's what I'm interested. Like, what 2 is going to mean?
Overwatch craft.
Yeah. So I am interested, even if Blizzard is not my favorite company.
And I think WoW expansion is going to be.
I am
announced
interested to
as
see where
well.
they go with it.
Now, in a post classic world, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with WoW.
Less polygons.
No more.
Well, the classic stuff, I know that they've always said that if it did well enough, they would look back into doing Burning Crusades classic, and whether or not that stays separate or it comes out as a expansion to classic is a different discussion, I think.
Okay, we're almost done. I'm not going to talk about Humble Bundle is changing its business model. I don't think it's big enough to care about. Yeah, it's bleh.
Get some games.
Yeah, it's fine.
Actually,
no, it's not fine. It's a terrible change. But just stay
well,
in
it's good for us.
It's good for us if you.
anyone
If
is
okay,
subscribed.
we mentioned enough now. So Humble Bundle is changing their thing. So instead of being $12 US a month and getting a selection of games that are, you get to pay more money a month for 3 games. But they show you 10 games and you can pick 3 of them.
It's the HelloFresh of games.
You can spend even more money to pick 9 of the 10 games they're going to show you. But if you're just grandfathered in because you already have an old subscription, you can spend less money than either of those options and get all 10 games. Yeah. So it seems like less that they're trying to sell it to new people with their awful new thing, and more just trying to stop us from leaving.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, there's this time period now when new people could come in and then get grandfathered in.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is a bit of a marketing ploy to get
time for some FOMO
customers.
Yeah.
Of like, hey, I should sign up for a year because I get 10 games every month.
And it's also not a hidden loot box anymore. You can see the whole selection and then just decide to subscribe and then do it. I mean, like, I can see it as a totally viable business model. It's just not what I wanted them for. I liked, here's a bunch of stuff that you may not have bought.
Yeah,
you may as well try it.
I don't want to have to pick
Yeah.
the games.
Well, yeah, because what I do like about it is I just
get given games.
Yeah, I get there's just random stuff, and I like the surprise part of it. I enjoy their surprise mechanics.
Yeah,
and
if it is just I'll pick the 3, I expect, especially since they say they're pushing for bigger licenses.
It's just going to be pick the 3 popular things.
Yeah, that's what the most of it will be, which probably means those other developers don't actually get paid anything, and it starts losing what was good about it. This sort of this idea of this game club and this like, okay, try a bunch of things that you wouldn't normally try because now you own it anyway, so you may as well have a look. It's like, I think I'm not a big fan. I guess they're trying things because they're panicking because of Game Pass and things like that.
Well, I think the concept of ownership is changing for games. And
now, the biggest news. The absolutely biggest news. So, Hideki.
Which one haven't you said?
And our favorite, Nakamura, from who just recently left Ghostwire Tokyo, a cute girl from E3 who used to work at like a Clover and been working. They got together and put out this little video, and Neki just like, Okami will definitely be back, and they're standing in front of the Platinum logo.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Platinum Okami?
So both and Nakamura did work on the original.
Yeah.
She was the head artist on the original Okami as well.
That is a good combination.
Which is owned by Capcom?
I don't know who
IP.
I don't know who owns the
I'm
IP.
fairly sure Capcom does.
Clover made.
I think Capcom has it.
But a lot of Clover people made Platinum then. So Capcom possibly owning makes sense. They definitely published it, but possibly Platinum producing
a Platinum Okami, just
with the original director
that would be beautiful
and art director. On modern consoles and everything.
It's like the perfect game.
And then they can go re-release it 10 times.
Yeah.
And I can buy it 5 of those 10 times. And then you go, Paul, have you actually ever finished Okami? No. But I've played a lot of it. Dude, the Switch version is very good.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, so we start talking about some video games.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's talk about. Is anyone super excited about anything? They're all good to talk about.
I'm not overly excited about most of it.
Okay.
Like I am.
Let's talk about Mario Kart Mobile.
Okay.
Oh,
it's the most exciting thing.
I actually didn't play it.
You haven't played it at all?
I didn't either.
I installed it, and then I heard about the monetization, and it completely killed it for me.
I just
deleted
I haven't
it.
played it. I do have a favorite thing about it.
I downloaded it. I did the tutorials, and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this control system. It feels a bit weird. I played one match and I won.
Yep.
I'm like, my first match, I beat all these people.
Of course you did.
And then I'm like, okay. And then someone put it out. It's not an online game. They're just
They're all
saying
bots.
the names of other players. Like, okay, so this is just a monetization thing where they could just basically make me win or lose however they want.
It's basically an idle game. Because you can't, because I didn't play it. I did see it played and watch other people play it, which is why I didn't play it. Like, you can't even go off the course.
It is literally idle cut.
Yeah, it's basically an idle game.
I mean, that's no more different to just playing Mario Kart 8 with the assists on.
Yeah. Very heavy
you can certainly... like, the default mode that they want you to play is power slides only.
Yeah.
Which does take pretty much the same control. Like, the thing is, it controls pretty well. The only thing I hate is that it's either normal steering or power sliding. I can't choose between them. And sometimes I want to do a little thing. I don't want to have to jump into a power slide. But it looks really nice. And it's very smooth, and like the control system wasn't bad. I did feel like I was playing Mario Kart. I just had zero inclination to continue. And I've got a few people, like I'll call them normals. They're playing it, and they've been playing it every day since it came out. They haven't got a cent in it. They don't see any reason to. They're enjoying it enough. But boy howdy, did I not give a shit past that first match. Just
They haven't subscribed to their subscription.
is it $5 a week or a month?
It could be either. I'm going to say week because probably that's what it is, but that's me guessing.
And you have to subscribe if you want to have the fastest
Yeah.
CC carts.
Wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's locked behind a paywall. Yeah. So Mario Kart Mobile.
Just
I realized the other day.
So it's like every other Nintendo mobile game.
Yeah, I was heading down to Melbourne. I'm like, I better have some spare space in my phone. I normally sits about the 70% mark on my phone. It sort of balances quite well. But I like 85%. I'm like, I can just delete all these Nintendo games. I'm never going to play any of these fucking things. I did keep Mario Run,
Yep.
the only good one. And of course, that's biggest failure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've still got a bunch of Nintendo stuff on.
I think my favorite thing about Mario Kart
Uh-huh.
mobile that I saw.
Oh no, I deleted
Is
all
that,
my free-to-play games. That's right.
Luigi is on the cover for it. He's not in the game.
He is as of today. I think.
He is.
Yes,
They
yes,
did
yes.
add him.
He's just been coming in.
I did
yeah.
enjoy that fact though.
They
that, like,
said like,
there's 4 different Marios and like 3 different Peaches, but no Luigi. But he's on the image there.
It was like Luigi's Deathly Stare finally in Mario Kart World Tour was the headline. Okay, so let's talk about an actual game that I like. Okay, shall we be creative, mind-bending, or puzzly? They have a choice.
all 3.
Okay, well, we'll call that Kine. So Kine might be the smallest of these 3 games, which none of them are massive announcements, but there's one. So I've been playing this on the Switch, code provided by distributor, and it's a Suckerban style sort of moving block game.
Mm-hmm.
Which are games that I somewhat enjoy. You know, you get into your Bubba Reviews and stuff, which are obviously on the higher end.
Yeah.
Then you get your Steven's Sausage Rolls, which are extremely well-made games, but fuck them. I don't like Steven's Sausage Roll because the possibility space is too large.
Yeah.
So I don't know where to start. And often, because, the move set in between where I have to end and start is so wide, I can never make those steps in between.
Yeah.
So it's not satisfying to me. And I'm sure if I was smarter, if I gave it a bit more time, I could get into it, but I haven't. So Kine is based in a world of basically a jazz musician instruments. Sorry. But these instruments are some very strange. I don't know even the art style to compare it to. They're an abstract version of the instrument. So say you play one of the later instruments, like mid instruments, is a trombone. But all the instruments are just a square block that can rotate on all of its faces, except they'll have things. So the trombone has 2 sliders, which will go about 3 spaces at perpendicular angles to each other. Actually, I picked one of the more difficult ones to describe, I've just realized. Let's go to the drum.
Okay, good.
Fuck the drum. Yeah, go to the drum.
All
So
right,
the drum is a block. It's got a long stick coming out of it. So you can't rotate past that stick because it'll stop you rotating. So you've got just rotating, so going from one grid point to another, but then also you've got an action, and that action will it'll slide the drumstick through, which in some cases might, if it's standing upright, might slide you up into the air.
Okay, yeah.
Or if it's on the ground, it might slide along and maybe push against a wall and push you a bit further along. Now, some levels you have multiple of these instruments, and it's all on this abstract thing, and they all have these odd movement sets. So when you look, especially if you look at me doing a level with multiple instruments, this looks like one of the most complex games of this style you've ever seen. The truth is, because they all have limited movement options, it's actually a more concise possibility space. And so very rarely, like there's been challenges that I've had to like think through and like puzzles to get through, but I don't sit there going, how do I even fucking start this? I go like, well, he can only move to 2 spaces, so that's already limited the possibility space at this level. And then it's weird things, like it's actually got a lot of writing in it. So all these instruments have personalities, and it's about their relationships, and there's a main plot. But as you move along it, you'll unlock side plots, and they're just more levels. So you're not stuck to, if you get stuck on a level, there's like 6 other worlds I can go to at any point, so I can just go there and come back. So I never feel trapped in it. Then they've got like fun things, like one of them was the world was like calendar themed, and they said every day of the calendar. They lied, it only went up to 16, but I feel I'll go back to it later. But it was the same puzzle, but you just do it was really quick puzzles, but every day they'd reiterate it with one more level of complexity. So it just slowly became a more and more complex puzzle. So things like that. Some of them are almost just story-based levels where you're like getting 2 people together and going off on a boat or something. It's very, very charming. Weirdly, soundtrack's not as jazzy as I thought it would be.
That was going to be one of my questions.
Yeah,
like,
it's a
does
little-
the solution to a level play a jazz song?
Yeah, kinda, but not anything specific. The music is good, not standout. But it's not annoying, which is a big problem in some puzzle games, because especially when you're frustrated,
a 30-second loop.
Yeah, you start to hate everything if you're frustrated. It's just a really, really well designed, and as I say, it looks intimidating, but it's introduced with a really good learning curve, and it just keeps adding more, just like more mechanics all the time. And as I say, it's concise enough space that I don't feel overwhelmed, even though it's especially when I'm comfortable, I'm going flick, flick, because there's a button to change characters. And one of the reasons I stopped on the trombones is a button to change characters, but the trombone has multiple actions because it has each of its slides. So there's also a button to change the action on the character you have selected. So you might be going flip, flip, change character, change option on that character, flip that out, move this, go, and it looks mad. But when it comes down to it, you really actually, it's far more controlled than it looks from the outside. It looks nice, sounds nice. I was really, really impressed with it. And I think it's hard to see because they don't show the end of the level list, but I feel like I've sort of blasted about halfway through it at the moment. Quite significant. So that's Kine, and it's on Epic Game Store, I think, and I've been playing it on the Switch. Very, very good place for it. Shall we just continue?
Yeah.
Why not?
Stuff.
That sounds interesting.
We can get... Let's just get me stopping talking, because there's still other things to talk about.
Because Paul's got a very long list.
I got a lot of things to always talk about. Sam, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Reventure.
Yes. Now, I've spoken about this briefly on the show before.
Yes.
How much have you played of it?
Not loads, but enough.
Enough to
I've
get
played
the idea
enough
of
to
it?
get a huge chunk.
So,
like a solid chunk.
Since we've both played it, and I've spoken about it on the show before, it's time to play. Does James remember what this game is?
It's a short game with a lot of branches.
Close enough.
Close enough, yeah. Okay, moving on.
Yes, I listen.
So it's a 2D platforming adventure game. And it very, like, initially, other than different art style, but very Zelda 2 in terms of, like, you have an objective and, you can pick up items along the way and stuff.
And you're playing this because it's just come out on the Switch.
Yes, yes. And Paul actually said to me, actually, it's a choose-your-own-adventure game, which I didn't quite get till I started playing it. So the way it works is you have a goal. You've got to go save the princess. The king goes, "Oh, go save the princess. Go get the sword and go kill the dragon or the big enemy or whatever it is." The game has 100 endings, as long as it lists 100 endings. I don't know if they're secret ones.
I haven't got 100 yet, so I don't know.
I don't have 100.
Do you
I believe
know-
only one ending is saving the princess.
Do you know how they branch?
No.
Okay.
So it's entirely about figuring it out, finding the paths. A lot of the endings you'll stumble into randomly. There's a lot of... It's very well... I found it was very, like, incredibly well done humor in terms of the way a lot
I
of
did
it
find
work.
it very funny.
There's a lot of, like, oh, okay, I get it. It was great. Like, for example, you're picking items, you get a sword, you get bombs, you get this talisman, and I think if you get more than 3, you just keel over because you're carrying too much. And that's one of the endings.
Yeah.
There's one where you wake up, walk outside, you trip over a rock, and you die.
Yeah.
That's an ending. There's a lot of little humorous ones like that, and then there's a lot where you have to kind of delve in a bit
I
more.
think,
So
I think one of
basically-
my early ones was I just became a fisherman.
Yeah. You're like, you start fishing, and then that's it. You're like, you've become a fisherman now. The thing I really like about it is that every time it iterates and you then start a new game, it's treating it like, what's the word? It's consecutive timeline. So it gives you like, it's now year 5, day 47 of the journey, and you're either a descendant or a relative or someone else of the previous adventurers. Then
So there's
taking
some
this quest.
continuity between
There's
it.
continuity.
So it's a little bit Rogue Legacy like that.
A little bit, yeah. So another example was I went and got a sword, stabbed a guard. Because there's just a guard outside the castle. I went, what happens if I hit him? And I killed him and then got sent to jail. That was one of the endings. I'm not going to spoil all of them, obviously. I'm not going to sit here and list them all. And then the next iteration, his body's just there on the ground.
Okay, so there is some... Okay,
And-
so it's a little bit
yeah.
more involved
Yeah.
than just...
And then
iterating
what
the same
also
world.
happens is, depending on some of the endings, your character sprite changes too,
Okay.
based on what you did on the previous
Okay,
game.
all right.
So there's one where like your sprite will change into what is a Santa Claus. There was one point I was a cat, which was really quite fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun one. I got that one by accident, I believe. There's a lot of really cool.
I think you get a lot of things by accident.
Yeah.
In this game.
There's a lot of really cool interactions, and you stumble into a lot. And it does reset, like, most things reset back to what they were. So you're kind of having to remember where certain items are. And once you find out that, you can't carry all the items, you have to figure out which ones you need to get to certain areas. Yeah, I think there's a lot of depth to it. A lot more than I was expecting.
How long's each run?
I mean, and getting to an ending can be anywhere from 20 seconds to 5 minutes, I think, depending on what you're aiming for.
You're not sure how long
it seems like quite a
getting
lot.
the princess would be.
It's a fairly well-sized world that it's in, as far as you can tell. There's immediately a couple directions you can go, and then it starts branching from there to different areas and zones. It's quite meaty. When I first saw it, I wasn't expecting it to be, but I'm having a lot of fun. And then, like, it's one of those things, you play it, get a few endings, and you put it down because you're fed up with doing that very initial loop over and over again.
I did get
thing to pick up.
I did get close to buying it a few times because it sounded interesting.
It's I don't know when when this comes out, if it'll still be, but at the moment it's on a heavy discount on the Steam store.
That might have been while I was looking at it.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's like I think it's like 80% off on the Steam store at the moment. Not on the Switch store.
Yeah.
Though.
I don't think it was highly priced on Switch.
It's not super expensive.
You gave me the key for it. I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
Key provided.
They're like, do you want a Switch key? I'm like, well, I already have the game, but yes. And they're like, does Paul the Greedy Game Dragon the game he already owns just because it's on the Switch?
The answer is yes, Paul.
Well, that was the answer, but I was like, but I should check. So I was like, Sam,
Paul was nice enough to pass it on.
do you have any, like, if you don't have a genuine interest, like, don't take the key, but if you do, you're free to have it. But if not, I'll have it. I can add to the list.
It's definitely come one of those things where I'll pick it up for 10, 15 minutes and do a few things and then put it down again.
Yeah, it's like, I suppose it's a good handheld game in that sense.
It is very good for that. I played it on the plane both to PAX and back from PAX.
Ah, fabulous. So, I don't need to talk to James. Back to Paul. Let's talk about...
James isn't on the list.
He didn't type anything. I had to handwrite it in. It doesn't count. It's handwritten. Just like the signatures on your wedding.
I'm technically married to Paul now.
Yeah, we wish it didn't work like that. All that happened was that your wife
close.
witnessed it. Like, if only it had if just any other spot, it would have been funny. But it's still funny. So the big Sony release of the last few weeks was Concrete Genie, which we've seen a few times, and sort of just at the 11th hour, Sony treated it like a big game. I thought, just like, yeah, it's a small thing, whatever. Did everyone know Concrete Genie's coming out? I'm like, I mean, I knew, but no one else.
Really everyone knows now.
So Concrete Genie is a game where you play a young adolescent boy who's in kind of, let's call him a shithole. Sort of a fishing village that's seen better days, and you like to draw in your book. And as all of these stories start out, some bullies come up to you and saying, what are you drawing, Pipsqueak? And they take your book.
Do they sound like that?
And they pretty much, yeah. and they throw, and they're like, I'm going to neatly tear out all the pages so they can become collectibles. And throw them around the world. And then they put you in a trolley to go to an island, so you get trapped there, as all bullies do. Anyway, as such, on said island, you meet a genie who is one of the characters that you drew in your book. They've come to life, and they want you to paint all over the world with basically stickers, but not analog stickers. More like if you got a flower, you can start drawing, you can draw the stem out, and it grows out the way that you actually painted onto the wall.
It's preset artwork.
Yeah, it's preset artwork that's variable, so it's not like it's not just stamping.
It's procedurally generated artwork.
Yeah, it's just
there we go.
So that's more accurate with it.
So it feels like you have more agency than you actually do with it.
You've got quite a lot as far like.
I would say you feel like you've got about the amount of agency that you have.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it feels one way or the other. Actually, it's pretty bang on. Excuse me. You can paint pretty much anywhere in the world, and you do it with the gyro.
Okay.
So
no one ever uses that thing.
No.
So I believe you can change it to analog sticks, but I haven't.
Yeah, I didn't realize it was a gyro game. So
yeah. So you do that. So basically, you're painting on walls, and you're basically lighting up lights in each area, that sort of lets you progress. But the main thing you're then doing is you're drawing the actual genies, and genies are like elementals. So you draw them on the wall, And those are a little bit more creative. You sort of set with a body. You say, okay, this body, it's going to be in this shape. I'm going to put him upside down and all this. Gonna put a bunch of horns on him, maybe a couple of tails here. Throw it all up, and then say animate. And it suddenly grows arms and legs, or maybe a bunch of legs, depending on how you've put it. It's pretty beautifully 2D animated, and it is your design, which is basically just a thing with a bunch of things stuck on it. But hey, it works really well. And then that can be on any wall doesn't have dark paint on it in the world. So you're painting off the dark paint, you're making passages for them to go through, and they're just helping you solve very light puzzles. Like, oh, if only I had a fire elemental here to burn this thing. Yeah, there he is. Oh, he won't do it until I paint some stars on the wall. I'll paint some stars. Done. So, here's some of the things. The game is incredibly easy. Most of the game you're being pursued by these bullies. No, you're not. They never chase you. The only time they've chased me is when I deliberately jumped in front of them. I don't know what happens when they grab you, because they've never come close to grabbing me. It's not a challenging game. It's not supposed to be a challenging game as far as I'm concerned. With your painting everywhere, and as you go, you're collecting pages, and that gives you more of these sticker brushes to use. And there's sort of some interactions between some of them when you paint them on a wall, especially when you start putting rain and things on there. And that's the thing, like you can paint rain on, and then that wall become a whole rainstorm as well.
Does that then interact with like the fire elemental in some way?
Only that they might have like funny animations and stuff in some contexts. Yeah. So there's little graffitis you can find, which you call them over, and they say, we want this combination, then you paint it, and then they might have a custom animation that goes with it, like pulling up little umbrellas or something. It's very cute. And also, my dog perceives these 2D chalk drawing genies as real animals and wants to fight them. But what I thought was interesting, so you just got to paint a bunch of walls in the game. So I'll grab the thing that I can draw the biggest, longest things with and just paint every wall. Like, here's just trees and everything. Blah, 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 blah. Who cares? So part of the thing that I just mentioned then, at certain points the genies will ask for certain things to be drawn. So they say, oh, look, I want this combination and everything. So you pull out a different brush, you switch it, go up there. And then whenever you pick up a new page, it automatically changes to that new brush. So you pull it out and just start randomly painting and everything. What this kind of means is that even without trying, you end up painting a wide variety on the walls all over this town. And then sort of when you finish areas, it starts to like panning over everything. It's like, it's genuinely pretty fucking attractive most of the time. It's like, this is cool. I made this place look real pretty. Look at me. I'm the best graffiti boy in the world.
So it's been banned in Australia, right?
Banned in Australia, yeah. Like Mark Echo's getting out.
Yeah.
No, pressure.
Under pressure.
Under pressure. Under pressure. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Anyway, that game. Yeah, it's quite relaxing. It's not high pressure. The puzzle solving is very light. Probably not a super young child would play it. It'd probably be good to play with a super young child because they'd be like, oh, make it.
They can move the thing.
And, or they'd just be listening like, oh, draw something like this. Do that, like drawing together. It's a very attractive game, and early previews I thought it ran pretty poorly. The final version runs really nicely. It's nice and smooth. I'm just playing it on a bog standard PS4. I don't have a Pro. I'm about 2/3 of the way through it. I hear in the last act something changes. I want to see what that is.
Turns out you're the bully.
Well, it's one of those things where I keep hearing there's so many games that sort of come up like, yeah, like the game was all right, but then in the last part, boy, they switch it up, and I wish I was doing that the whole game. And like, why don't games like get to that point of development and say like, yeah, we should just introduce that at the end of the first act or something?
Look, it's too much work to go back and rebuild the early stuff.
But we don't build a game in linear form. That's not how you know games don't work like that.
You don't?
Well,
I thought that's how it worked.
I'm pretty sure Hat in Time did that. That's why I really want to play the DLC.
You do kind of have the problem. It's like you're building content and building the game, and you might come up with a new idea, but you've already built all this stuff previously.
Yeah.
Like, oh, but I can't get rid of that.
Yeah, it's real fun. At a certain point, like, you can't go in water in this game. But when you land in it, you do go into a swim animation. I'm like, did they cut out swimming?
Maybe, yeah.
It's like, nah, I can't get around the restriction. Nah, just move. Just disappear him if he jumps in water. Respawn
It's too
him.
difficult.
Yeah, I don't know if you can die in the game. It's never come up. Yeah, so that is Concrete Genie, which
that sounds good.
fun.
It's very pretty.
Yeah,
It'll probably be a PlayStation
very
Plus
pretty
game
game.
eventually.
It'll definitely be a PlayStation Plus game.
And then not play it.
Yeah. You can play it with your cat.
Play it on the mat.
Come on, Sam.
I got nothing. I don't do rhyming. Not even basic Dr. Zeus rhyming. I was traumatized by green eggs and ham as a kid, so like not the actual things,
not actual green
not
eggs
actual
and ham.
green eggs and ham, but
I mean,
because my name is Sam.
oh yeah,
I'm
that
fed
is
up.
true.
I'm fed up of hearing Dr. Zeus quotes.
Which would be worse, the green eggs or the green ham?
Yeah, but is it?
ham? The ham's gonna be
Is it
green
green
and
ham?
slimy.
Are you processing that it's just green
it's just
eggs
green
and
eggs
green
and
eggs.
ham?
It's
And
right.
ham.
It is not clear about the ham being green.
Is it green eggs and ham,
Yeah.
or is it green eggs and
Okay.
ham?
That's a very good question.
See, the English language is just. If it
Shit.
was Spanish, we'd probably know.
Yeah. Why did this have to happen to us of all people? Okay, so James,
Yes.
do you want to talk about a video game?
Sure.
You can also talk about pack stuff. If you want. You can talk about anything you want. Did you
Well,
look at your list?
No,
You know what
I
he's gonna
remember
talk
the two
about.
things.
The two things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually have a lot to say about either of them.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's my gift to you, Paul.
That makes Paul happy.
Yeah.
No, one of them I'm really quite interested in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Destiny. I'll talk a little bit about Destiny because I think there's a broader interesting thing going on with Destiny at the moment.
Yeah.
So
It's just something else come up on my phone. Oh fuck, it's over there. Damn it.
Do you want to borrow mine?
So because there was a release of Shadowkeep, Destiny Shadowkeep, and this was the first release, content release, the
Post Blizzard.
post Blizzard, and it was also the moving to Steam, and the introduction of New Light, the free to play version of it, which has a lot of content. I think it's like basically all the first year content, so you get like the base game, and look at you without your vote, Paul. Hello, Paul.
Don't ignore me.
So I've heard the new play experience isn't actually that great. Because what they've done is they basically you jump in the game. They basically bumped you pretty close to the end game. Like if you want to go back and play through all the other stuff,
Like shifted it all.
yeah,
forward.
you can.
Don't you get a modified version of the first mission from Destiny 1?
You do, yeah.
as
So
a start now?
it brings you up as a modified of Destiny 1. Which is I kind of was a bit disappointed they didn't let it, like existing players play
Go
it.
back and do it.
But it is just for new players. But I went and watched a video of it, and like it's just basically the first level. And so I think for those people, the game is not very well presented. Like you just sort of, it basically just throws you in the end game and goes, go nuts. And if you want to go back and do this stuff, you can. There's not a lot of reason for it, unless you want to kind of play through the story. But there is a lot of content there, like for free to go play. The game still plays amazing, looks amazing. Like that's all great. But the stuff, I've put like 300 hours or whatever into Destiny so far, and so I just jumped into the new stuff, and it's been pretty good. They've brought in season passes, and they've done it in a way that solved one of the big problems I've got with that game, where you basically hit this level cap and you're doing the activities, getting your gear, getting your light level higher, and they'll gate off certain activities. Yeah. And so if you want to do like the raids, which is like they're really kind of apparently I've done half a raid ever in all the time I've ever played Destiny. You need to be sort of a certain light level to do the most recent one. But I've always struggled to get there because it's always a bit of a grind to kind of get to the point where you can get to it. Where what they do now with the battle pass or season pass, whatever you want to call it, is you basically still level up and get temporary progression. So what they can do is say, look, you've got your current gear scores around here, but by playing the game, we're going to kind of keep bumping you up. Yeah, sort of like just based off leveling. But when the season ends, they can take that away. So it's sort of like this nice way to let you get to kind of the end season content a bit faster. But then when they bump it again, there's sort of more to progress through again. I thought it was kind of a clever way to do it, like because it kind of speeds up the satisfaction of getting new gear and leveling up. But then next season, I kind of don't mind that I go a bit backwards because I like that process. So it doesn't feel like this kind of grind. The new area they've added was the moon, which is from Destiny 1. And they've done an amazing job at updating it. Like it just looks fantastic. It was always one of my favorite areas in Destiny 1. But they've gone through and changed a bunch of stuff. The actual, as far as like being worth it to buy, if you hadn't played it before, I'm kind of hesitant to say like it's worth it, just because like there's so much stuff in there, and what you kind of get out of Forsaken it's like, I mean, you don't have to own. That's not Forsaken. Sorry, Shadowkeep. If you want to play the moon, you don't need it. You can still kind of go to it. Like you still have access to all the activities. It's kind of weird. But just broadly, where Destiny is now, I've been having a good time with it. And I think for something which is very free, so it's basically injected a bunch of people into the PvP again. So
which is always good.
Yeah. So now there's all these new people coming through because if you play PvP, there's no restrictions. Like you can play everything. In PvP, all the gear is leveled out, so like it doesn't matter. I mean, with the exception of they have the Iron Banner event where it does bring in gear, but it's negligible compared to like you can still have low gear and do fine. Like it's not too bad. But generally, yeah. So yeah, I think it's a good place. It's going to be real interesting to see where it goes over the next year or two. I'm kind of expecting next year they're going to. I think they'll have another year of what they've done now. So I reckon they'll do this year. I reckon they'll do another year because I think it's working out pretty well for them. And then we'll get Destiny 3.
Yeah,
it's sort of my kind of thinking where they're going to go.
What if we never get 3?
They might not. They might actually.
Forever.
They might just find that this works and just kind of keep going for it.
Destiny Classic.
Yeah, and I don't mind. Yeah. Well, what I want them to do is just keep rolling in planets from the previous games.
It sounds like a good idea.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, because it's been so long.
Kind of half. It takes a lot of the time frame out of development too.
Yeah, and like I don't feel
Even
ripped
just
off.
Like updating those planets, at least some of the content is still kind of available to reference.
I don't feel ripped off by this is old content at all. Like it feels fresh. It's like nostalgic. Still looks good. I'm still blown away by how good that game looks. Like it just.
Yeah, it was very pretty.
Yeah, how well it runs. Like Jesus Christ, it's too good. It's too good.
I only played it for a bit when I got it for free. Well, I think it was through Humble that it was.
Yeah, Humble did it. Yeah.
And like it didn't pull me in, but I did enjoy my time with it.
But it did pull you off.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, your mileage varies depending on how much you like shooters.
Yeah, pretty much. Like I love shooters, but something in it didn't quite pull me in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was.
Because like I love the gunplay in it. Like it has my.
But I went back to Overwatch, so.
Yes, I don't really like Overwatch
just
that much.
Different
so
world.
yeah. I think Destiny, because like Overwatch is just 100% skill based, where Destiny there's that nice like it is very skill based, but there's just that little bit of like if I grind, I can get this current weapon which is doing well.
That's a weird distinction, because Overwatch isn't particularly regarded as a high skill.
Oh, sorry, I meant like it's not grind based. Is what I meant. Like in Destiny,
I'm not saying there's not good Overwatch players.
Yeah.
I'm saying the skill set to be competitive in Overwatch in a way that you're useful to a team is not say the same as Quake 3.
No, that is true. Overwatch isn't a mechanical skill set.
Yeah.
It's a teamwork skill set.
Yes. It's like it's certainly, and I appreciate it.
But
it's like
it's strategic, not
a
mechanical.
lesser skilled player can still be useful in Overwatch,
Yes,
where other
true.
games they would be, just a detriment to the team.
Yeah. Where I think Destiny is probably then like I think Destiny is good for people like me where I don't want to play in a team, like with other people. I don't want to play like on mics with other people. Like you can generally. I can kind of have my own.
That's why I find it weird that I didn't get into it, but I continue to play Overwatch because even when I play MMOs, I play them solo.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that confuses me more.
I do not interact with other people ever.
Because Destiny's pretty good for that.
I still do not own a microphone, like a headset microphone. I never have. I have a microphone now.
Yeah. Though it does reach a point in Destiny where you cannot solo anymore. Like to get to the pinnacle gear, it's like no. At this point, you need microphones.
WoW's the same as well.
Yeah. It's like no. In fact, they stopped matchmaking.
At some point, you have to. With others.
They don't even let you matchmake it. It's like no, you have to talk to people.
Yeah, create a group.
Yeah.
Ugh, people. Let's talk about a single player game.
Yeah.
The other game from the intro, Manifold Garden. We were all waiting for Manifold Garden.
I was.
Yeah, right on.
I haven't picked it up.
I've got it on my phone. I can play it now.
Yes, you could because it's on Apple Arcade.
Yeah.
I
haven't picked it up.
I'm about to make a criticism of Apple Arcade, but I'm also going to say I have not tested it with Manifold Garden, which was I was trying to play Blackwell Conspiracy actually. I'm like, yes, a first-person sort of adventure game. I want to play this with a controller because fuck playing first-person games with virtual analog sticks. I'll use this HDMI adapter I have for my iPad to put it on the television, and I put it on, and it was 4:3. I'm like, why isn't this 16:9?
Oh, because it's not going to work like that.
Why doesn't it work like that?
Because that's just not how.
But James, why not?
But PowerPoint works like that, James.
So does Netflix.
Because it's just not how they work.
Why doesn't it work like that? Other programs work like that on the iPad.
I think it's more it's an operating.
Developed for Apple.
It's more like an operating system level because you're not going to have.
Then why does it work on a PowerPoint?
Because I don't actually think... Like, my phone here,
Yeah.
I don't think... Like, there's no way I could make it output at 4x3.
See, yeah,
Like, from an operating system level. It just won't... There's no
But the iPad
way.
can output it at 16:9.
because it does.
Yeah, I did it at PAX.
How does it do it?
It does it with Netflix as well.
Yeah, it does it with lots of things.
So
So if I go... How do you do it? Like, how do you take an iPad and make it output at 16:9?
I plugged it in with an HDMI cable and started PowerPoint.
it's
Really?
automatic.
Yeah.
I did not know that. It
So
must
you
be a
can't-
new
you-
thing with
I
PadOS.
don't think you can change what it's outputting. You can't like swap
I
between
couldn't
the
go
two.
in. I couldn't tell it to go to 4 to 3
Yeah,
if I
so
wanted.
You can't swap, but something.
But it used the full
something in the app-
resolution of my external monitor.
That's cool. I didn't realize it did
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
which is
no,
why
that's
when
cool.
I started up Apple
Yeah.
Arcade, I was like, the fuck? Because my dream of Apple Arcade was that it was the Switch. And it's not the Switch, and it
no.
can't be the Switch, apparently.
Yeah, I think until Apple kind of pushed that as this is the way we want you to use that device,
Yeah.
it's not going to work like that.
But that game is on 16:9 interfaces.
I know.
It's also,
I know,
on,
I'm sure if
it's
you
also on a phone. It's also on OS X.
yeah. Well, I'm sure if you open it up on Apple TV, it's going to run at 16:9.
Of course it will.
Yeah.
So I was confounded. I was like, well, fuck this.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to.
So what I puzzle is that it's probably down to individual devs, and you probably have to, rather than just detecting a device resolution, you actually have to detect a flag on if it's outputting to external screen
I don't
or
know,
not.
because like when you develop a game for mobile phone, you develop it like with Sky, like that will run on anything from, like 4x3
shift.
to
Yeah.
like like you need
But if
to
you're
develop
like
it
building
for,
it for iPad and it's it's going out as 4:3, and then you don't have a flag, this is on an iPad, but it's also outputting to a screen.
Yeah.
Like that flag is what's missing effectively.
I mean, at least
But-
like in Unity stuff,
yeah.
when you load it up, it just will. The viewport basically changes to match, and then everything goes bloop and just moves.
But also, we both just
Yeah.
schooled the Mac developer. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, take that. Didn't
So that's a
know
win
that.
for us. Yeah.
Yes, that means I am now the Apple expert. Me.
Yeah. You can
Oh,
have
boy.
it. You can have it, Paul.
Yes, finally. Eat your heart out, Steve Jobs. Anyway,
I'm
yeah, I was
already
just wondering-
interested in it.
So I
Oh.
didn't end up
Also-
playing it on the TV but I was playing it on Apple Arcade because it was free versus paying money. So Manifold Garden, basically people have likened it a lot to Antichamber, which was a first-person exploration game which used perspective a lot to sort of mess with your perception of the world. This game is not that much like Antichamber. It has some elements like it. It's more interested in fractal, impossible architecture. So you will get scenes in this game. Probably one of my favorite, which is I walked out. You know, I can't remember the actual place is called. I think it's in India. There's like this deep well down with stairs, and they're all super symmetrical. It comes up in movies once
I
in a
know.
while.
Yeah,
Like
I
in
do
the
know what you're
fall
talking
and
about.
thing. It's really beautiful. So you walk out, and it's a huge staircase that goes straight down to infinity. And there's a lot of areas in this game that are infinite. And you don't really know where to do, but you can see reflected on you on the horizon is the same environment you're on, and you can see like where doorways match on that side and everything. Now, the main mechanic of this game isn't... so Antichamber was more looking at things. Look at a door, like look at a color, get close to it, pull back, and you're in a different space or something like that. This is actually just a straight-up gravity manipulation. You look at a surface that you're close to, you hit the button, you switch gravity towards that surface.
And the floor changes color.
Yeah, and the floor changes color, so it's quite readable. It's... Yeah,
So there's actually like when you say not wanting to play Bradwell with like twin stick controls on everything, this with twin stick controls, like virtual controls, works really well.
Yeah, it might be better on a phone. Fucking holding an iPad wants me to claw my eyes
like
out
this is
eventually.
fine. This is
Yeah, I still hate virtual sticks, but I'm really enjoying the game.
yeah.
So in that, and I'm going to spoil this puzzle slightly because it was just fucking amazing. Basically, I flipped gravity so that I was falling infinitely against the plane that I was on. So basically, and then I just slowly inched my way to the other horizon across infinite space to where I am on a reflection of my reality, and then I just went through one of those fucking doors. But because it's all this fractal infinite stuff, it's like, and it runs really well. It's like I know it's only line art in the game, but Jesus Christ, does it feel like it's really deserving of what it's doing. So there's lots of so when it comes to complaints about it, basically because it's dealing with these sort of like things that are almost infinite space, like if you're walking along a ledge and you fall off, there's no game over in this game.
You just fall.
You just fall infinitely until you land on the same spot again.
Oh, you just loop back around.
Yeah, you just loop back around. Like it's really quite simple like that. It's like everything's got a clear design. It's like it's the world is like this. Don't worry, you can't fuck up. You just might get lost.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem in that, because of these spaces, large architecture, at least at the point I am in the game now, some of these spaces are getting really big.
Too big.
And it's like, oh boy, I've got to just go find a key and then carry it back here. Where the fuck's it? It's all the way over there. Fuck.
Can you just like alter gravity and fall there?
You can a bit, depending on where it is, and that can be the fast way to do it. And sometimes that might be like if you're inside a building, it's normally a better option than outside a building because you could miss and go infinitely. And most of the time you can only go 90-degree changes, so if you're on the top of something, it's hard to see another thing, other than pointing at the floor that you want to stop at and then just praying that you hit it while you're falling really fast past it. But that's a minor thing with it. It gets a weird muddy on the iPad sometimes. I think just because of what it's trying to do.
Yeah, I was actually just playing on this. I noticed that the render resolution was kind of low.
But I look at the PC screenshots and it's sharp out its
Yeah,
arse,
well, I
so
need to
I'm
try
like-
it on my MacBook Pro.
Yeah.
And see what it runs on there. Because here it looks like it's downsampled a bit. It's almost like its own aesthetic on here, like the other way it's kind of downsampled.
And the thing is, like, and whilst I say like it gets a little bit muddy with that, it also means that it constantly runs at a smooth frame rate, and it's been very intelligently put together.
There's a nice little bit of inertia on the swipe.
Yeah,
It's fine. Yeah, this actually plays better than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
For twin stick on a screen.
It's been very fancy, and it's different enough to Antichamber. We can certainly see like a comparison. To it, but it doesn't feel like not something. I've only had a few things that are like, you walk through this door and you turn around and you're not in the same door. It certainly can do those things and plays with some of them, but it's not the focus of the game. Well, at least not at this point.
Yeah.
Antichamber was a lot about messing with just non-Euclidean like perspective and travel.
Yeah.
Rather than here's a set space that's weird.
Yeah. Antichamber, I think I never finished it. I think I just got a bit. I eventually just got a bit. Well, it made me motion sick, but a lot of first-person games make me motion sick, so that's not really a slight against it. That's just a fact of life. Yeah. But I was just like, I know what it's doing. I just can't. Yeah. I can't do this again.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to go through the sequence again because I forgot to jump. Oh God, here we go. Here we go. But Antichamber is also very cool. So that's Manifold Garden. Okay, let's talk about a couple of things we did at PAX. So James and I aren't going to cover a whole lot extra because we did cover most of our stuff.
Sleepy time with Spaghetti Boys.
I saw it pop up on my.
James was
RSS.
not nearly drunk enough, but I did go on a racist rant, which I was going to actually cut out. And then I listened back to it and I'm like, actually...
It wasn't that racist.
It wasn't actually...
It's a little racist.
Australian racist? Like
No, because I have
armchair.
a thing where I like to say, I am racist, but...
Oh, yeah.
Because I think it's
most
more...
racists do.
I think it's more... No, most racists say I'm not racist, but... I like to point that I do have some prejudices.
Yeah, well, we all have prejudices.
And I acknowledge those, but like I think, it's like... that doesn't... I don't let that affect me. The problem was, I didn't say but... I just said I am racist.
just admitting it and then continuing to be so. Okay.
Yeah. Because the full line I used to say was like, I am racist, but I feel every culture has something to contribute to. And we all should all work together in harmony, and no one should be judged by the color of their skin or where they're from. The rant wasn't actually that bad. I think it's when because at one point I say like, oh no, I actually judge people by hygiene, and I think you were mixing that I meant racial things and hygiene were related. I can see where you thought that.
Yeah,
so that's James being racist.
Maybe I was racist.
He was. Yeah. But I mean, that's just his Latin roots. So what did you play that you would like to talk about, Sam?
Let's talk about Biomutant. Because it's possibly the weirdest experience.
Because you got to... I spoke about it briefly,
and
but
I know
James hadn't
Biomutant.
I
know if I say the words Pokemon, you're going to pass out.
Oh, no, you can talk about Pokemon. We talked about
Yeah, we spoke about
Let me do a quick aside for Pokemon first, then.
Okay, let's start.
Because I have very little to say about it. People probably don't already know from just seeing videos of Pokemon.
I think Callum told me that you guys played Pokemon for like 3 hours or something.
No.
How did that make sense?
No. We played it for the 15-minute demo time. We were in a queue for an hour and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were saying you played it so
We
much. I
weren't
was like,
playing it for that long.
I thought you
That'd be great.
may have gone through 3 times
Oh,
to
no,
get each
no.
of the badges.
It was a 15-minute demo.
Of a part of the game which was pretty similar to.
Well, it was the same demo that was at E3 and has been at previous events.
But
for the
it wasn't.
past
It wasn't
6
really
months.
showcasing, apart from the visuals, which were nice.
It wasn't showcasing a lot of the newer stuff,
Yes,
like the
yeah.
open
Yeah.
world area and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they're not going to make a demo.
yeah.
So it
to
was
do
a demo of,
even though that's what everyone is interested
Yeah.
in. But did look way nicer than I thought
it was
would.
very
and they,
crisp.
and they had some Dynamax stuff in there.
And
It was
you-
beautifully
since
crisp.
Since you missed Spaghetti Boys, you missed the most exciting thing.
Did I?
We
Did-
Dynamaxed
Did
the
you
Wooly.
Dynamax?
We got Wooloo with Dynamax Wooloo.
Nice.
Yeah,
Solid.
it made me very happy.
Big old
Very-
shit.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Wasn't particularly powerful.
No, but by God, I was happy.
So it was 15-minute timed demo.
Uh-huh.
So it was basically like, how well can you get through this gym? And if you're too slow, well, you don't get to do the thing at the end.
I mean, I think it must have been very
'Cause it
forgiving because
cuts
James
out.
did it fine.
Yeah,
It's
she
a
complimented
forgiving
me.
gym. Most people I know had it cut out whilst they were battling in the gym fight itself.
James ahead of the curve.
I
Yeah,
finished it.
Yeah.
I got the badge, so I got a bit of preview of what the badge holder and stuff looks like, and there's some extra interesting things on there.
Like
But-
what?
Well, eight badges in a game,
Okay.
assumedly, and the thing you put them in is circular, and they're all around the outside, and there's this big gap in the middle where other things could go. Who knows?
Like a Pokemon.
Maybe it's a Dynamax
or,
medal.
or the Elite Four, or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, very crisp. Probably one
Or
of the
a curry badge.
Maybe it is. It could be the curry badge. Yeah. Probably one of the cleanest UIs I've ever experienced, which I already knew from like all the videos they've put up, but actually playing it with that UI, it's so crisp and clean.
It was nice and neat. It was a
Beautifully
sharp-looking
neat.
game.
That didn't jump out at me. Like it looked very serviceable.
Very I think the thing is, like, having been through all the previous iterations of Pokemon.
So you're saying in the context
all
of
the menuing,
Pokemon.
Well, in the context of that and the fact that I now work in a marketing design team.
Like
it's
okay.
beautiful.
Plus, you're
It's
forgetting
beautiful.
the fanboy factor.
Yeah, that's what I'm picking up a bit
That
of.
too.
Because
He knows.
There's
He
a little bit
knows.
of that.
Because it didn't look bad. It was just more like it wasn't like I looked at it and went, "That UI's amazing." Like I
No,
didn't.
it's not
just-
stand out,
it's
but
just
it is
clean.
very
Yeah,
clean.
yeah.
It does exactly what it needs to and doesn't have any extra bits.
Which is unfortunate because I was looking forward to the dark, gritty reboot of Pokemon. Finally. It's going to
yeah,
be based on the Super Mario Brothers movie
Oh
world.
god, that'd be so good.
What the crossover. Oh.
Someone
Bob
just needs to-
Hoskins, they bring him back, Breaking It Bernie style.
Why can't Netflix do that? Why can't Netflix make a Mario series
in-universe thing.
in universe of the Super Mario Brothers movie?
I mean,
That would
because
be great.
half of them are dead.
Oh, like they can be the like they can do it with the
50 years
kids.
later.
They can do something.
50 years
They
later.
can do something. Come on,
We've just got
come on, Netflix, make
deep
it happen.
fakes of Dennis Hopper and
Yeah.
Bob Hoskins here.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I had a lot
yeah.
of fun with it, and
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so Biomutant you played.
But Biomutant, yeah. It wasn't what I expected it to be.
What did you expect it to be?
I can't tell you now that I've played it. I honestly don't know. All I know is that was not it.
My big problem with the demo is that, as far as I'm aware, the game is open world,
Yes.
and that demo is very
It was
directed,
not open. It was
which is
so
fine.
linear.
Which is fine, except for the thing that there were certain things that gated you in there, like basically like areas you just had to go through a blank wall and you had to cut through a route or something to get through it. I'm like, in an open world game, how would you ever notice that?
So is it open world like something like an open world single player game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, because for some reason, I think it's because I saw everyone lined up and I just assume everything's going to be competitive multiplayer.
No,
Yeah.
I started where there's no multiplayer component. It's more of a.
It's
I mean, like I believe some of the Assassin's Creed team, the original Assassin's Creed team, was on it,
Which is good. Like I
makes a lot of-
would prefer it to just be some open world
it
single
is
player thing.
single player, but it didn't feel like an open world game. I don't know if they've just curated
I think it was a curated demo, and
that's showing off a lot of the things.
as most of these demos are, it's probably a pretty old demo as
Yeah.
well. But it showed its world, which I won't taint you. What did you feel of the world of Biomutant?
It was a bit bland to me, I think.
Oh,
I felt it was bland. The world was bland. A lot of the things
The
in the
nar-
world are not.
the narrator.
The narrator was...
Oh, I love the narrator. This was where I got.
I wasn't sure why the narrator was there.
to make fun of you.
Yeah, but...
I don't. In an open world game, I don't think the narrator could be that involved either. So it feels like again a more of a demo thing,
Yeah.
and a world building thing.
There was some odd choices.
This is where we had the racist conversation.
Oh,
Because I said the main character you play is like a gerbil Mr. Miyagi.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as gameplay goes, it was fun but weird.
Yeah,
Like,
it was about
It felt very strange playing it. The combat didn't flow as nice as I wanted it to.
It's strange combat with that recharging gun.
Yeah, so you
and-
have like a gun that you can fire it fairly fast, but it's tap to fire, so you can't just hold the button. But it doesn't, like, if you're tapping it as fast as you can, it's like it acts like a burst fire almost. Like you tap fast and you fire like 4 or 5 shots, and then there's a pause, and then you fire 4 or 5 shots, and it's auto targeting like whatever you're looking at. And then separate to that, you've got a lot of the melee combat, which I didn't use a whole lot because the gun just did all the work.
Oh, I mostly melee.
I got into the melee a little bit.
Except for
And then I
against
just
the
used the
big
gun.
weird gorilla with a Tim Burton face at the end.
Yes. So it didn't feel like I was having to really think about the combat. It just felt like I was just getting it done.
I think because it's sort of brawler
kinda just-
combat, and I think in a demo
Yeah.
most of the time that's hard to get a real feeling of
Yeah.
like
I did.
any nuance.
I did enjoy it a bit more once the demo gives you the big iron fist. It's
Yeah,
a
which
big
is after the first
it's a big
combat.
charge
Yeah.
up punch move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
That's
was fun to play with.
anyway.
There's
Yeah.
a lot
I'll
of-
second the counter.
There's a lot of fun ragdolling going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then you eventually get the mech.
Yes, the mech was beautiful.
Actually, before the mech, we get the bubble.
The bubble was weird. I was not expecting that to happen.
I like the bubble. It's just it's such a weird mix of
So
like
there's a lot of. It seems like they're introducing a lot of. If it is open world, it's like, okay, you're gonna unlock this ability that then means you can go to certain places that you couldn't before.
at the beginning of the game, you're in like a hot air balloon, which gets brought down. As far as I know, in the main game, you can fly those around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
like, at will. So
that changes it a lot.
yeah, and I know in it wasn't in the demo, but in one of the trailers, one of the vehicles you can drive is just a big mechanical hand that runs around and you ride it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that mechanical hand is what got me interested in the game. I was like, that's fucking awesome.
I do just like there is just a whole bunch of stuff that, if anything, it almost is weirdly psychonautsy in some of the movement stuff. Like, but yeah, it's very unique and hard to pigeonhole.
Yeah.
And I think my take, as I mentioned before, it's like I don't have a good idea what the shape of the overall game is.
No.
I thought the demo was interesting. I didn't love it, but I was like, fine. And we mentioned the boss, which starts off with you, and then it eats you, and then you have to kill its heart.
Half
from
of the
inside.
boss is being inside the boss.
Yeah, which is always a fun trope.
Yeah. But before that, you're piloting a mech that shoots out flying squirrels.
Yeah.
Which is always good, and you get to choose what the head is of the mech. I went for panda.
Oh, with the duck.
Or went for a duck head. Yeah, that was always good.
Actually, the using the animals as ammo thing also reminded me of like Stranger's Wrath.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So it has that sort of bit of an Oddworld sensibility. Except, I wish Oddworld really like took some chances with their stuff. Now that new Abe's game,
Look, they took their chance.
and it didn't work.
Didn't work out well.
Yeah, I feel like I came away from playing it of going, okay, I understand what a lot of the little bits of this game are, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I still don't know what the game as a whole is.
The game interests me, but the demo didn't sell me.
No. And it felt weird playing on weird third-party controllers.
Oh my god! Why did
that
you
was
do
the
that?
weirdest thing
Oh,
about
what?
that
They
game.
didn't just have PlayStation controllers.
No, they were like
They were
$15 cheap
third-party.
nothing wired in, and the things like
The ones where the buttons are labeled A, B, C, and D.
Holy crap!
And
So they spent all the money bringing the stand, paying people to come over.
Well, it's part of the bigger 2K.
it's
stuff.
part of the
But no
THQ
one
stuff,
went and just go, look, we're just going to go
Just
buy
wait and get
10.
some Xbox
You know, we're
controllers
going to
or
go
something.
spend $600-700.
Yeah.
You know, of the 50,000 that we spent.
Microsoft wasn't that far away from
Yeah,
them.
like that
It's-
blows my
But I
mind.
think because it had just the ABCD thing, it's like also like where it's like push the A button, not where A says on the controller.
Yeah, yeah.
It's in a different
The
location.
That's
Xbox
crazy.
A button.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was, and they
They
were
felt awful.
They were a
Yeah.
weird shape. They felt clacky. The analog sticks on them were very weird to the point that I died 3 times in a row.
I mean, I bet you could just go buy a bunch of wired Xbox 360 controllers second hand.
Yeah, go to Cashies.
Yeah, you could buy a
Yeah.
pile of them for $100.
Yes. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it was
Okay.
it was a very weird
Yeah,
choice.
it's very strange.
Okay, and that is Biomutant.
Mm.
John Wick Hex.
How's that?
So John Wick Hex might be the game I've hated most in my life because of its presentation.
Really?
I hate it so much.
But you love John Wick, right?
I hate it. And I like Mike Bithell.
Yeah.
So, here's the thing. The game, really, really nice design. Really great idea. I still love the idea. So it's not turn-based. It's move-based, I guess you'd call it. So you don't take turns. All actions happen simultaneously.
Like Frozen Synapse?
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah. Frozen Synapse. A little bit different though. So when you are in a level, you can see like what's about to happen. Like this guard is just a timeline, and then you've got your moves. And when you're sort of like looking at it, you'll see how long that move takes to do against the timeline. And until the next move, it'll just take however long your move is. So you get these multiple timelines for all the guards, and you're sort of trying to line up the puzzle of, okay, well, if I need to disarm that person first because they're going to action first, how will I go through? So you're doing it step by step, which is a very John Wick idea. He is fast, but he's methodical in what he does. I think it also forgets the fact that he actually does get beat up a fuckload in the movies, but he's still very, very capable. That's what he does. So in theory, very good idea. Like, this is a way of doing it because no one can really react like him or have that many options in an action game. So we make it a slowed down game. We go, and everyone had said like, well, it's like super hot then. And so at the end of the level, you should definitely show it just playing through in real time. Here's one thing they should never ever do with this game: let it play through in real time. What a fucking awful idea. So the game is on this like it's not a hex grid. It's like a diamond grid.
Yeah.
And part of that ends up being that none of these like lines are straight. They're always they would break off. So, James, I'm going to walk over to you. So I'm going to take one step to the left. Then I'm going to rotate my body, take one step to the right, and just keep fucking
zigzag.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so that's really awkward enough when he's just moving around. Like, holy shit. Okay, I get it. It's low budget. I get it. Okay. So you've got a dynamic camera. That's a cool idea. So you walk down a corridor, and when you hit a certain point, the camera flicks to a different angle that's more dramatic. Okay, I can see they're all pan-made levels, so that makes you. So, but there's a pickup over there, and you're on this weird diamond grid. So the camera's going to flick for one step, and then you're going to turn your shoulders, step back, and the camera's going to flick back to the previous one, and then you just crouch down, pick up a thing, and then walk pointlessly across the level again. I'm just watching going, and the animation could only be just compared to the 90s adventure game Hell.
It sounds like they should
have action by action animation.
Yeah, it sounds like they should have, because like the Hitman game where they made it look more like a
Hitman
game.
Go.
Sorry, Hitman Go. Yeah, whereas like it was more like a game board with things moving. Like they just sort of really lent into this idea that it was like a turn-based thing. They should was it obfuscumorphism? Is that the word I'm thinking of? Some term for it. But I don't know. Maybe they should have leaned into that.
It needed to either be more analog or even more linear. So it's like. Like Hitman Go goes, those games look great. Like they're way more limited.
Well,
in
it
their
kind of makes
option
sense to me
set.
if I just see something awkwardly move because I'm already thinking it's some kind of board game thing.
Yeah.
Tabletop.
Yeah.
But even with like the more limited nodes in those games, like the Deus Ex one that didn't do the board game thing. I think you were just running around in that. But because it's just set, like the animations can look pretty good. It always looks terrible.
Yeah.
And it really stops me from enjoying the game. I'm just like, I don't want to be that guy. You don't think I'd be that guy with the shit that I play, but
you're that guy.
But boy, howdy, am I that guy with this game?
Yeah.
I just look at it and I just cringe.
Well, I mean, part of John Wick is power fantasy.
Yeah.
So
and it's the fluid motion.
Yeah. And so if you're not getting that out of it, then because it's a very mechanical robot man movie.
Yeah. It should have been John Robot.
Yeah.
That would have worked a little bit better. Yeah. Not a fan at all, but it makes me go like, boy, if they've got like enough money to do a sequel and they could just not have like set node points, if you could just go A to B and it just puts a timeline on like it just things take time and distance.
Red. Is it Red? Is it called Red or it might be called something else? The Bastion devs where you pause time and then take your actions. It's not called
Hades?
Red, is it? No, not Hades. The one between. Transistor.
Transistor.
Yeah. Red's the name of the character.
Yeah. I mean,
because
that's still more like it's halfway between that and an action game.
But like if you're doing the turn-based part of it, it's it'll take this long in your turn base, and you can still got free movement and all that nonsense.
Yes. Yeah, real disappointing. I was actually quite looking forward to John Wick Hex.
Yeah, I remember because it didn't. The game was made in tandem, like in the same room.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah. Mike Bithell, I was listening to him talk about that he was literally like in the same room as the editor, and they'd just be like, well, who's the director's there and everything, and it's like they were like getting feedback as they went back and forth and everything. So they had all the resources. Keanu Reeves not in the game, but Ian McShane is, and the guy who plays the concierge, forget the actor's name. But yeah, like there's resources in this thing, but it really needed like
an extra dev or two,
some more money and some more devs, because I think there were more people on the team than just Mike, but probably not many more. He still is a very small indie dev. Yeah, so a bit funny. James, do you want to talk about the Quest of Dragons?
Yeah, so I picked up Dragon Quest number
11.
11.
Don't help him.
I'm very tired today.
But what numerals is it?
Oh, XI.
In which order?
X and I.
You're correct.
For Switch before heading down to PAX. And I've been wanting to get this one for a while because I've seen it like on PC and I've seen it on like PS4 and it looks very nice.
Did you play the demo?
Yes, I did before on Switch. Yes, I played the demo, and like this always to me looked like the kind of thing that I would prefer to play in handheld form. And so yeah, I've been waiting for the Switch. And picking up the Switch, I think it was worth the wait. Something that has continued to impress me with this game is how good it looks and how well it runs.
I did pick up on that in the demo too. Like,
yeah,
visually.
like you can get like a comparison between like the introduction video where if it was on PC, I'm sure it would actually look mostly like that rendered gameplay video or rendered video they run in the tutorial. Sorry, introduction. And then you get this kind of juxtaposition between that and the render of the Switch. And so you're like, that dog's got no fur, but had fur a second ago. But once you get over that initial jump, you just don't care anymore. And I think like seeing that the comparison hurt it a little bit because when you look at it in isolation, it's a really good looking game. What they've managed to do is crazy. Like how well it runs and yeah. So I don't know, because have you played much of 11?
Only like I've played through the whole demo on Switch, but I haven't played it previously.
Yeah.
So.
Because I always find like Dragon Quest an interesting one because like it so heavily leans into JRPG tropes.
Yeah. Well, it kind of started half of them.
Yeah, and it's like
Because it's serious.
And it refused to move on.
Yeah. But by refusing to move on, they've also gone, yeah, but we know there's a lot that kind of sucks in here too. So there's a lot of quality of life. So for the majority of things that you're fighting, you just turn on tactics.
Yeah.
Because you can just say, look, just don't use too much magic. Can you just
let it do its thing?
Yeah, and then you go into the options and you go, you know what, combat, you can go fast. Like you can go as fast as you want. And so what it means is those times where it's like I just need to go grind to level up. Now just turns into I'm sitting there. I got some real nice music playing. It's got like the full orchestral soundtrack, and any kind of combat you have takes about 10 seconds, and it plays itself. And so it just turns it into this really kind of chill experience. And those tropes of like the kind of more slow turn-based combat, like doesn't have random encounters. At least they've taken that out. But like all that kind of more traditional JRPG combat, you just like I don't know, like it just makes the whole experience really relaxing. It's almost more of a chill out game. And then you go into a dungeon, and then you might fight a boss, and at that point you're like, oh yeah, I'll turn off the thing, and I'll
take control.
I'll take control. But this acknowledgement of like, look, most of what you're doing in this game, it's going to be like spamming the one ability to kill these things. So we'll kind of take that off your hands. So I've appreciated that. And I think especially the fast forward, because that like after like Final Fantasy 12 where they got in the fast forward in there, like it just changes the whole experience. But I mean just generally like the game, like the writing's good, the music's good.
But James, are you playing in 2D or 3D?
Oh no, I'm playing in 3D.
Why not 2D?
Because it's a different game and it's not that seamless.
Is it a different game?
Basically, well, you can't seamlessly swap between the two.
I knew you couldn't do that, but I thought it was ostensibly.
Oh, no, sorry, no, it's the same game, but it's more like a demake.
It is a very different
Yeah,
experience.
it's a very different experience.
So two games in one is what you're telling me.
That's basically what I'm saying.
Just they happen to have the same story.
So what has impressed me is really the story so far. Like, even like I think I'm about maybe 10 hours into it, and already at that point there's been like story revelations where, I mean, I'm not going to say any of them, but just certain things that have happened and been executed on in a way which is very clever writing, and it surprised me. So yeah, it's like there's a certain quality
which
to
isn't a trope of JRPGs.
Yeah, there's so far. Yeah, there's a certain quality to the storytelling, which is If the game can keep that up, it's going to be a good experience. Yeah. I have you playing on TV a bit as well, because I also like playing those kind of big things on TV, and that works just fine. Still looks good when embiggened on the TV.
Very cromulent use
very...
of that word. Okay. Now, Sam.
Yes.
You also apparently played Luigi's Mansion 3.
Well, I put it on the list because I was there when it was being played.
I
was behind. I was behind Amy as she played it. They did say, "Do you want to play it as well?" And I went, "It's fine. I'm good still." I'm getting the experience just watching still.
I saw the line. I'm like, man, I got this pre-ordered.
We got in about 10 minutes, I think.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It was real fast. But it was on Sunday, so that might be why. Apart from ignoring the game for a second, the setup they had for it at PAX was nice.
Yeah.
The big dark room, you know.
Oh, so it's
the
a
atmosphere
bit spooky.
It was a little bit spooky. Well, not spooky. It was dark.
Well,
there was some stuff.
Someone grabbed you,
but
it is PAX.
Yeah.
But the game itself, like, I was on the fence for it because like I didn't know if it was a game that appealed to me that much. Wherever I want to. I haven't played the previous ones on 3DS at all. So you can kick me out in a sec if you want on that.
I mean, I like them, but they're all flawed to a degree.
Yeah.
3 sort of fixes most of the flaws.
But watching what the demo was,
hopefully.
watching it get played through and kind of some of the things in there, I think I'd probably pick it up.
What did the demo cover? It just gave you like a floor to explore?
Yeah, so effectively it was like, it wasn't a whole floor. There was a couple of sections that were like, you couldn't go through, but it was like the initial tutorial, separate to a floor of like, this is how you do each action. And then chucked into a bit of a floor, a few rooms, various puzzles to kind of learn some of the mechanics a bit better, and then into a boss fight.
Cool.
Which looked very interesting. Well designed.
Run well?
As boss fights. It ran beautifully. I didn't see any issues with it at all. Flowed nicely. Even just, like there were some rooms, like, regardless, like distance from the room camera-wise as well, everything stood out the way you'd expect it to. Like nothing was muddied.
So what was the moment to moment? Like what are you doing in the game?
Effectively, you go in between rooms and destroying the ghosts.
Searching for ghosts.
You're searching for ghosts. So you walk into a room, there might be ghosts. You have to shine a flashlight.
So like a normal room, there could be ghosts.
Well, yeah, it's a hotel room. Yeah,
There's
next
several
here right now. Yeah. Just floating through all the time.
There's a boo over there.
But
and then once you find the ghosts, you use your flashlight to kind of stun them, and then you're trying to suck them in with the vacuum, the Ghostbusters vacuum cleaner.
Just like that arcade game in Japan.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Didn't you play it?
Amy
no.
did. Yeah.
So you suck it when you suck in the coins. It's just got a big like vibrator in the thing. It's like like gun recoil.
Yeah.
So every time you suck in a coin or anything, it goes.
That's cool.
So you're sucking in the ghost, and then like you get it attached to a vacuum, and then you swing them back and forth to deal damage.
You beat them up.
Little health numbers above the head.
It's very Ghostbusters.
Yeah, and there's lots of different. Well, I say lots is at least shown several different types of
There's
ghosts.
different types of ghosts, and there's puzzles to get them out of different
you have
things.
You have to use a suction cup, which shoots out with a little rope attached. So you attach your vacuum cleaner to the rope and pull away to pull the shield off of them.
Okay. Yeah.
You gotta
Or
stay
you can
close to your
damage.
mic.
Sorry, I leant back. So there's lots of little things like that, like learning how to beat different types of ghosts.
Yeah.
And like the rooms themselves have a lot of hidden things in them that you can find coins and stuff like
Luigi's
that.
mentioned I've enjoyed because it's
keys to open
very
doors.
much an exploration game.
Yeah.
Like just playing
Very
around, finding fun
exploration.
little things and reactive. Like there's always been that little element of physics in there as well. Not like solving physics puzzles, but just making shit fly around, which is always fun.
So the big thing that was kind of shown off in got quite a bit of use in the demo actually was the Luigi
Yo,
mechanic,
yeah.
where you there's a goo version of Luigi.
I want to be James's Luigi.
When you summon him, Luigi just kind of goes brain dead, and you're then controlling Luigi, and Luigi can like walk through spikes.
So is this like a co-op feature?
It can be,
Yeah.
but it's also single player as well.
Okay.
So you get to a certain point and there's spikes, but there's something you need on the other side. You just drop into Luigi, walk through the spikes, grab the stuff with Luigi because he's got the same vacuum cleaner, walk back through, combine again. There's areas where you'll need Luigi to go, pull a lever for you to get through areas, or stand on pressure plates or stuff like that. Which is it's a cool little extra mechanic I think to have added. And none of the puzzles looked specifically difficult, but
Paul was very intensely drawing on that paper.
I don't know if they start getting a bit weirder with that stuff like later in the game.
Like they've never been super hard, but they did, like I expect like that'll just be demo difficulty. There will be more complex things to do primarily.
The only thing I probably noticed as a downside, which is very specific, is that in the boss battle, it's in the demo. I noticed not just with Amy playing it, but a lot of people around us, the Nintendo reps were actually having to tell people how to do it.
Well, that's all right. People suck.
People do suck at games.
Yeah, all they
I noticed how, but it effectively it's the boss is it's a king, and he's on this wooden horse, like puppet horse, riding around a jousting arena basically. But he's got a big shield and a helmet and stuff like that, and you just have to wait for the right moment to stun him, and it's not very clear when that moment is. Like once you get told, it's obvious. Yeah, and I think playing it normally you can kind of figure it out.
I think it was like a student game. I'm sitting there, I'm doing like the boss, and they're like, "Do you want to hit?" I'm like, "No, we will learn this together."
Like, that's a very minor, like,
yeah.
But otherwise, it looked real good.
That's good.
Quite enjoyable.
I'm looking very much forward to that.
So it's now on my radar, on my list.
And I'm very excited because it'll look great with my new video card too. Yeah.
Have you played Borderlands 3 yet?
No, I only started downloading it this afternoon.
Can I borrow the video card so I can?
No!
I'm not sure the card's my problem.
What was it? Oh, this is just a question to the panel. Did any of us bother looking or playing Spiritfarer at Nintendo?
No.
I only remembered that it was there and I forgot to play it after PAX. I'm like, fuck. Oh, well. No news.
I think I looked at everything except it.
Yeah. I didn't spend a lot of time in Nintendo.
I played Monkey Ball.
Monkey Ball. Like my Monkey Ball.
Played Pokemon. That's about it.
Yeah, there was big lineups for... Did you play Hollow Knight? Silk Song?
No, I stood and watched it for a while. But
I imagine it looks good.
I am trying to stay away from like all the info about it because I know it's going to be a good game.
That's the thing. It's like
I know that's an instant buy for me.
That team is like they just earned me just trusting them. It's like
Thing is, like, even if the lowest bar is it's like Hollow Knight, that's fine. Perfectly good.
I mean, even if it for some reason something went and it was hot trash and it said like, oh, here's a $20 game and I bought it, like, I hate this. I go like, well, actually, both the cost of these two games together still doesn't equal what I spent with Hollow Knight. So much. I actually don't care.
Yeah.
They gave us so much value with that first game that they've got leeway to take their time and make what they want, as far as I'm concerned. That's just the fanboy in me talking. Don't trust that to the bank. Go and listen to some sort of like game news thing that like could actually give you details. Not us fools. Anything else we want to discuss, boys?
No.
Not particularly.
Okay.
Because we'll have The Outer Worlds next.
Yes, Outer Worlds comes out basically, well, it'll be before this comes out, but 2 days from now.
Yeah.
If you have Game Pass, remember, it is a Game Pass game.
That's what I'm going to do.
You don't... Well, I mean, you're still paying money, but you don't have to go buy
like
the full
$15
game.
or something.
You're not buying a full price.
Well, at the moment, more like you can get Game Pass for like $1 or $2.
Oh, it's for like new accounts and things like that.
Yeah,
there's always a deal.
There's always a thing.
Yeah.
I just got 3 more months with my video card. I mean, that certainly doesn't make it free because that was not.
I'm actually thinking I'm going to play it on my.
I was good Borderlands.
Yeah, play it on my Xbox. I think. I think it's going to be a couch game.
I got pissed off again because I was thinking Apple Arcade, but I didn't even think about Game Pass. So After Party is also going to release on Game Pass. So I fucking bought a game that I was being given. But that's okay. More people can play it. We can talk about it because I'm very excited for After Party.
I'm still trying to fix my Game Pass issues.
Oh,
It's good times.
yeah. One day you'll get
Just when I have a new computer and it'll just work.
pretty much.
That'd be good.
That'd be nice. I wish we all had new computers that just worked.
Yeah.
I have an old computer or
I did try to get
newish
one at
computer that
PAX.
just works.
I got 2 blue screens after I put in the new video card.
Yeah, it's good old PC gaming.
Started shitting myself and they're like, wait, how about I just remove all the old drivers for the NVIDIA
That
stuff?
tends to work.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, probably.
It
will.
Especially
did-
if you're swapping
It
the
did fix it up quite quickly.
Oh, so you just like swapped it,
manufacturer.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I just switched. I mean,
Yeah.
they all turned off. Like none
Yeah.
of the NVIDIA stuff ran.
but just
it was
probably
still
just go and get
installed.
rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had to go, oh shit, I've been using NVIDIA's recording stuff. Got to work out.
Oh yeah,
AMD
that stuff is
now.
pretty handy.
Yeah, AMD's got their own stuff.
Yeah.
It seems to work pretty much the same. I haven't really put it through its paces yet, but I
Mm.
also don't do that much video. But hey, control runs a lot better. And instead of lowest settings, I run it on ultra settings.
Hooray.
And it's smooth. They're like, yay! And then I go, I'll turn on ray tracing on that.
No.
Not allowed to. Yes, and then the actual game that I loaded up to test it with was Deadly Parable.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, run.
Did it look real good?
I mean, it ran real smooth.
Next step is to get yourself a higher refresh rate monitor.
Mine's 144.
Oh, then you're good.
Yes.
Set.
Funny thing is, it hasn't run at 144 until now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because
okay.
my old video card couldn't do it with my monitor.
That's
for
the
some
other
reason.
reason to not bother with ray tracing at the moment. Because
Because it's not gonna
running
work.
both ray tracing and 144 means your frame rate's stupid
Not gonna
anyway.
happen.
Yeah,
It's not going to happen.
How good
And
is
I feel like the 144 refresh rate is a much better
I
return
love
of
it.
investment.
Oh, it's so good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so smooth.
Okay, boys. Well, I think that brings us to an end of another happy episode. Next episode, we will definitely be talking about the Outer Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be confused with the Outer Wilds, which is now launched on PS4.
It has, yes.
So everyone go play it and buy it again.
And maybe you'll like it.
You definitely should like it, James.
You
Yes.
definitely
Everyone
can
who knows how
like
to like
it.
games
Yeah,
should
yeah.
like
Everyone
it.
good at video games likes the Outer Wilds.
Everyone who likes Outer Wilds likes Outer Wilds.
We're announcing
As
Game
a-
of the Year now. It's
as an
Outer
aside-
Wilds.
Outer Wilds.
I did find out something new about it recently.
Yes.
You can outrun the supernova.
Yes, I have seen people sort of do that. Well, because the thing is...
You still lose, but you
Oh, yeah.
can...
Isn't the ending basically you just die in space?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Yeah.
But you
'Cause-
don't have to get caught by it.
Because the thing is, because it uses space physics and you can accelerate in space, you can just
Accelerate.
point and accelerate,
Yeah.
and you will go a long way away.
And you
There's-
can watch
there's
the
nothing
whole
there.
thing happen.
And there are a few things out in deep space as well
Mm.
that discovered.
Oh, is it?
There's a few
Yeah.
Easter eggs out there.
Mhm.
But I more find those on Reddit than find them
Yeah.
myself. 'Cause I'm not exploring deep space.
You'll find them on someone who's found them by opening the files. And
Yeah,
looking through
yeah.
and
That's,
Mm.
mapping stuff.
you'll never believe
Data
this
mining.
thing that I found in a file and didn't really find
Yeah.
myself because
Yeah.
fuck, that's really hard. Yes.
There was the fleet carriers pushed back in Elite Dangerous for those who care.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
No, not
Will.
really. No, what it made that game for a game I love. Like they never release anything. Like
James, grab your phone.
Yeah.
And just check the. I didn't mean to show me the picture of Cheryl, but it is a very funny picture. I do like it.
what am I looking at?
I say, will Death Stranding be out before the next episode?
Oh god, please no.
It's...
Oh, it might be.
It is early
Yeah,
in
might-
November.
yeah,
It
yeah,
comes
Depends
out.
when we
might
do
be.
it. I don't think
Oh
it is.
god.
2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it is.
When is it?
Which will put us at November. Well, the release date November 3rd.
It's
I think it might be
uh,
November like 10th or something.
No, it's 8th of November.
8th of November. So we do have another episode before Death Stranding.
Okay.
And
Outer Worlds first.
I love this. I love the Death Stranding talk because no one's allowed to talk about it. They're all under NDA.
I bet
We do not have
God.
we are not big enough for them to send us
No,
Death Stranding.
I'm expecting this game to not be very good.
The thinly veiled
Definitely
comments.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it sounds overwhelmingly negative. I'm saying it's like overwhelmingly confused.
Yeah.
It's like things like it's like oh well we're all playing this. Well, some of us are still playing it. I cannot wait.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be good times.
You know what the thing that's actually sold me on wanting it? Once I realized that packing the bag and the balancing the bag was a gameplay mechanic. I was like, ooh, I like that. I love inventory. Like, I love physical inventory management. So I'll put all the heavy stuff down the bottom, and like, it's weirdly like like the idea also that like the cargo has different values, and so like you can jettison cargo. So make sure like the shit that's not worth much is on the top, so you can throw it away. But that stuff's top heavy, so you're suddenly unbalanced more. And will this be fun? I don't think so.
Is that the entire game?
I think it is.
I think it is going to have many ideas. Yes. It is going to be an ideas game.
Ideas. The thing, and also so many ideas for a game that had a relatively short development cycle. Nobody thought it was coming out this year. Everyone was like 2021.
I thought it was going to be PS5.
Yeah.
And I would have been
probably
fine
will
with
still
that.
have a PS5.
Oh yeah,
they'll
and maybe it's coming out now because they know they can just resell it.
Yeah. Because if it comes out too close to it, people will expect it sort of just be like, it's
going to be The Last of Us. Yeah. It's going to be, we can sell this again. It's been long enough.
Yep. Okay, thank you for watching and listening to 8.5bit. You can check our website, 8.5bit.com, our Twitter and Facebook. Please join us there. You can join our Discord, discord.8.5bit.com. Like and subscribe, all that stuff, whatever you want.
I've
been your host, Paul.
I've been Sam.
And I've been James.
Catch you later, folks.
See ya.